start and help start some. And enjoy speaking and lovely to be here. And congratulations again. Great to see everyone.
Thank you very much. Francesca Fidele, please.
Francesco Fedele from Italy. I am here as a representative of the board of Toastmaster to congratulate you on this golden anniversary. Great job. Keep on doing that for the next, not only 50 years, 500 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca. I'll ask Ted Melanphy, and then I will ask Andrew Bennett, please.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to see you all here. I've been a member of Blarney Toastmasters. I was also a member of 3 other clubs, but I am since retired from Toastmastering. But it's great to see everybody here tonight, and this is a fantastic achievement. 50 years ago, this club started, and good to see that it's still going strong. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. I must just add before Andrew goes first that we owe an awful lot to Ted. He's a past president of this club on 2 occasions. So we owe a lot. He's one of the giants on whom this club has stood. Andrew Bennett, please.
Good evening, everybody. I'm bringing you greetings from Excalibur Advanced Speakers and the City Limits Speakers, which are my 2 clubs. I'm thrilled to be celebrating the 50 years of Blarney. Congratulations to you all. It's very exciting to share in this meeting with you.
Thank you very much. I'll ask Jared Mannix, please, and then Matty.
Good evening, Paul, Toastmaster, and all in the audience. It's lovely to see you all again. I'm afraid I'm on the same bus as Ted Melanphy. I didn't renew my Toastmasters in September, so I'm beginning a new life as a coach, actually, would you believe it? I'm on a 2-year program to be a coach, so it's a totally different world. But I must really thank Toastmasters for inheriting a wealth of leadership that it has given me, which I've enjoyed in many of the statuses and the chores that I did in Toastmasters. Good wishes to you all. A mighty congratulations. 50 years, wonderful.
Thank you very much, Jared. Matty, and after Matty, Tamara Evans, please. Let's go to Tamara next and come back to Matty. Tamara, please.
I'm happy to be among all of you, dear friends. I'm originally from Ukraine, a retired teacher. When 1.5 years ago, I joined Shilling Speakers, President Anthony Harvey told me, now your life will change forever. And it did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Matty, are you ready to go?
I am indeed ready, Paul. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Matty Bean. I come from the southeast coast of Ireland. I joined Blarney Toastmasters. I'm in it about a year now, and it has been a fabulous year under the guidance of Paul O'Mahony and many other great members. I will be renewing my membership now shortly, and well, now that I'm coming up on 70, I'm not expecting to be here in 50 years' time, but we'll see how it goes anyway. Back to you, Paul.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Matty. Now I'd like to go to Susan Schultz, please, and then I'd like to go to Ginny McNeese.
Thank you so very much for this invitation. I am thrilled to be here. I've been a Toastmaster since 1995. I joined in New York, moved to Florida, maintained as many as 9 memberships at once, and recently joined several clubs in District 101 out in California. I love Toastmasters. It's part of my life. I have 3 DTMs, and I've decided they don't mean don't time me, but just dedicated to mentoring. And that's what I do with many of the newer members.
Wow.
Oh, congratulations. Well done, Susan. Thank you so much. Now, Ginny McNeice and then Mike McGrath.
Okay. My name is Ginny McNeice. I am very happy to be here. What a testament to all Toastmasters around the world, 50 years. I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years, going on 6. I've held 3 different officer positions. I was born in DC, and now I am all the way over across the country in Oregon when I got married 21 years ago. I'm just so thrilled to be here and to keep learning, and I'm shooting for a DTM myself.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ginny, very, very much. Now, Mike McGrath, and after Mike McGrath, I'd like to go to Bridie Corrigan.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. My name is Michael McGrath. Like Ted, I'm a former Toastmaster and former member of Blarney Toastmasters. I think I was president way back in 2015 or 2016, if my memory serves me correctly. Great to see so many old faces on the screen tonight. It's a fantastic achievement. I'm really looking forward to the evening. Thank you very much for the invite.
Wow, well, thank you, Mike. You're another giant on whom we have stood. I have to tell you all, by the way, but first time I went to Blarney Toastmasters, I was a member of another club at the time. I just went visiting, and Mike McGrath was running the meeting. I hadn't, I think he was so good at chairing the meeting that I said to myself, "Ooh, this is a cut above what I've been used to." So that's why I joined Blarney. Anyway, Mike, that's just between you and me. Anyway, who did I say was going to be next? Bridie Corrigan and then Martin Farrell, please.
Good evening, Paul, and all the members that are all the Toastmasters that I see online there. Paul, congratulations to a wonderful achievement for the Blarney Toastmasters. I am a member, I have been a member of Athy Toastmasters since 2006, but unfortunately that club doesn't exist anymore. And then I joined Toastmasters for Golf, which is an online club. I think we're about nearly 4 years in existence, and it's always online. I really enjoyed with great fun and great trips away, and I recognise a few people here tonight. So I wish Blarney Club the very best of luck for the next 50 years, and I may not be around either by then, but have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
Paul.
Martin Farrell, member of Phoenix Tara Toastmasters, which is in Dunbayne, which is north of Dublin, for our people that may not know. I was the past president there, also a member of Toastmasters for Golf. And I would like to wish Blarney all the best as they celebrate 50 years. I'm thinking of where I was 50 years ago. I was in my second year in Dublin, having started nursing in 1973. And I'm thinking of all that happened to me in those 50 years. What a great achievement to be here celebrating with you all. Thanks, Paul, for the invitation.
Oh, that's wonderful, Martin. Thank you very much for being here. Now, Hannah Schmidt, and then after Hannah Schmidt, Lynn Gilbert, please. Hannah Schmidt.
Well, thank you very much. And Dennis, thank you very much for the invitation. I remember I was at visiting you on your 1000th meeting. That's when I came to Blarney Toastmasters. That's also quite some time ago, hey? My home club, I'm here from Namibia. My home club here is only half as old as you are, 25 years. And I'm also a club member in Canada, and I just love it. Although it's a bit late for me, I'm south of the equator.
Wonderful, Hannah. Thank you so much. Lynn Gilbert and then Andy Rigi.
No.
Lynn, you're not audible. Andy, you go next, and Lynn can come after you. So Andy, you go first.
Happy birthday! It's so great to be here to touch again the Blarney Stone. So I'm Andy. I'm really a Toastmaster enthusiast. I'm a member of Bristol Central Speakers. I was a division director in District 91 of the division, the most amazing division, Division A. And currently, I'm mentoring a new club called UK Salt.
Thank you very much, Andy. Lynn, will you be next, please? And after you, can Paul Greenaway be next? Paul Greenway be after you.
Sure. My name's Lynn Gilbert, and I'm a photographer from New York. And I want to say this is a great privilege to be here. And part of it, or a lot of it, is because of Paul O'Malley, who invited me. And I see I'm with an extraordinary group of people. What I learned, and I looked up in the dictionary, Blarney means to persuade and influence. And here we have a group of people who were persuaded and now are able to influence many people around the world.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Lynn, a member of Blarney Toastmasters. Wonderful. Paul Greenway and then Diane Richardson, please.
Mr. O'Malley, congratulations on the anniversary of the club. So, as you're aware,
Oh, Paul, your sound is terrible. Your sound is terrible. I'll go to Diane Richardson and come back to you.
Thank you, Paul. Many congratulations to Blarney on 50 years. That's quite an achievement, and it's well deserved. And I can see there are many people here who have well known in Toastmaster circles. For those who don't know me, I am the immediate past district director in District 91. So I was Elizabeth's counterpart when Elizabeth was district director for D71. But once again, many, many congratulations on 50 years. That's quite an achievement, and that shows a determination and resilience that very few clubs seem to have. Well done.
Well, thank you so much for that compliment, Diane. It's wonderful that you're here. Wonderful. Now, who did I say? Paul, Paul Greenway, is your sound okay?
We'll try it this time if you can hear me, Paul. Congratulations on the anniversary of Blarney Club. Absolutely fabulous. I was in Blarney only yesterday dropping somebody off to go kiss the stone, but she had been a Toastmaster, so she didn't really need to go there. Along with yourself, I'm currently a member of Shilling Speakers. I think there's 8 or 9 of us here tonight, which is absolutely fabulous. So I look forward to hearing from some of my clients. You may be aware of me in West Cork. I was area director twice in the last number of years, and I hope to reinvigorate my part.
Thank you very much, Paul Greenway. Now, next, Lillian Courtney, and after Lillian Courtney, Aidan Coakley, please. Lillian.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I have been in Toastmasters about 4 years. I'm the outgoing president, 2023, 2024. I have to say that Blarney has made me so assertive that I had a problem with saying no, and I had a problem with saying yes. Always either being an octopus or else constantly saying yes to everyone. I have to say that Ted and Maura and Paul and all the people here and Lynn and Bill and everyone here amazing.
Thank you very much, Linda. That's fantastic. Now, Aidan Coakley and then Carol Boser. Aidan Coakley, Carol Boser.
Good evening, Paul. Thank you very much for the invitation to join you guys tonight. Delighted to be here. Delighted to see Blarney celebrating 50 years. Happy birthday on it. I'm a Toastmaster too bloody long. And been around various offices, got as far as I really want to go in district. Then Paul, may you all have a great night tonight. Thank you for your time now.
Thank you very much, Aidan. Thank you very much. The next person I asked, this is where you run into Carol Boser, please, all the way from France. Carol.
You might think that 15 years Toastmastering is enough for anybody. But no, I'm still here, still going strong. Member of 2 clubs, Shilling Speakers and Lyon Toastmasters International, which is a club I indeed created. After 15 years, you know what quality in Toastmaster means. And this is a great example. So happy to see some familiar faces and to be part of this great celebration.
Thank you very much, Carol. Can I go to Roman Us, please, and then Marion Brennan?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. My name is Roman Us. I'm from Ukraine, now living in Ireland. since the war started in my country, and I'm proud member of the Blarney Toastmasters Club. I'm very happy to be here to celebrate the big date, 50th university and 50th anniversary of the club. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. Marion Brennan and then Evelyn Campani, please. Campani.
Good evening, Paul, and everybody here, and I wish you every success for another 50 at least. What I'd like to say, my name is Marion Brennan. I'm from Phoenix, Tara and Dunboyne, along with Martin and Molly Malone Online Club. But it's fantastic to see the faces here tonight that got us through COVID. We don't get the chance to see them, so it's great to see everybody. Hi. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, thank you, Marion. Thank you very, very much. And Evelyn, and then Fabiola. And Fabiola, yes, Evelyn first. You have to unmute. Okay, Fabiola, you go next, and I'll come back to Evelyn.
Congratulations to Blarney for the 50th anniversary. My name is Fabiola Cleofa. I come from the Caribbean, District 81. And I got to learn and meet a lot of persons from UK, Ireland, and so on, from the first online advanced club, Fibers Collective. And it really made it for me to truly embrace the Toastmasters family. I love going to conventions, but it was in Fibers Collective that I got to really connect with people all over the world.
Oh, great to have you, Fabiola, with us. Great to have you. Now, Evelyn Campani, and then Bill Hayden, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Evelyn Campani. I joined Toastmasters in 1978. I have been a member of many clubs, and currently I'm a member in NACE and Wordsmiths Online. I have a DTM, and I have enjoyed every minute of my Toastmasters journey, and I hope to drop down to Blarney someday. And I wish you all the very best.
Well, it's a short journey from where Evelyn lives to Blarney. So thank you very, very much. Well, Bill Hayden now, and then after Bill Hayden, Nigel Smith, please. Okay, Bill, we can't hear you yet, so I'll go to Nigel and come back to you. Nigel Smith, you are next, please.
Well, good evening, Paul and fellow Toastmasters. I join you from deepest, darkest Worcestershire here in the UK, and I've absolutely loved my Toastmasters journey, the gift that keeps giving. And I've got a big thanks to you, Paul, for opening my eyes to what happens in Toastmasters. Once you step outside your club, you open my eyes to a great world and a great network, and loving every minute of that journey. So thank you so much. And I also want to wish you and your club the best for the next 50 years, as well as the ones that have just gone.
Oh, thank you so much, Nigel. You're very, very generous. Thank you ever so much. I cut somebody off there. Excuse me 1 second. Who was it? Oh, yes, Bill Hayden. Can we hear you, Bill? I know you're in a car. No, can't hear Bill yet. So I'm going to go on to Diana Hardy, and then I'd like to go to Elizabeth Jordan.
Well, I see there's a time limit here. Congratulations, Blarney Toastmasters, all the way from the south side of the US. I am new to you guys, and I appreciate the invite, and it's so lovely to see such a strong showing of support to Blarney Toastmasters. Thanks for the invite, Paul.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Now, Elizabeth Jordan, and after Elizabeth Jordan, Eamon McParland, please.
Thank you very much, Paul, and good evening, everyone. It's an
absolute pleasure to be with you tonight as you celebrate your golden anniversary. And it's so wonderful to see familiar faces from past and present. Tonight, the pride comes from not only being a member for district, of which I'm immensely proud, and it's because clubs like Blarney help to make that district, distinguished and proud. So
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you very, very much. Here's where I run into difficulty remembering who I said was going to be next. Eamon McParland, please.
Good evening, Paul, and thank you for the invitation to this lovely party. I wasn't expecting to speak, so well done and catch me out. Congratulations on happy birthday of 50 years. 50 years ago, I was working as a telephone linesman repairing storm damage in Dunboyne. If I was there today, I'd be still repairing storm damage, I guess, but I'm not. But Dunboyne is important because that's where I'm a member of the Phoenix Tara.
Oh, yes, Eamon, thank you so very, very much. Now I'd like to go to Sean Dewan and then Mark Laverne. Sean Dewan and Mark Laverne. Sean.
Nothing is impossible. 24 years ago, I joined Toastmasters very, very reluctantly. Now, I'm a DTM, and I achieved that in 2012. I set up Ross Gray Club, and then what did I do? I went off and set up another club, and it's a corporate club. And thank you for your help on that one, Paul. And I'm a member at the moment of Ross Gray and Toastmasters for Golf. Over to you, Paul. And fantastic. You're terrific at your job, and congratulations all around.
Thank you so much. Mark Laverne and then Helen Sexton, please.
Hey, thanks so much, Paul. Thanks for inviting me, and also a recognition of our past international president, Ted Corcoran, who I think was here, our international director, Federale, I believe is he still with us? And all of our friends and guests and members of the Blarney Toastmasters Club, congratulations on making it to your 50th birthday. Of course, none of us here have ever reached 50, so this is going to be a treat for all of us to be at a 50th birthday party. Back to you, Toastmaster Paul.
Thank you, Mark, and it'll be great to hear your speech later on. Thank you so very much. Helen Sexton and then Jim Jameson, please.
Okay, congratulations, Blarney, on your 50th birthday. I must admit, I did kiss the Blarney Stone, but it took really 5 years ago when I joined Dublin 15 to kind of put a bit of smock, as they say, off Gaeilge, a bit of control of my talking, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. And as I would tell people, Toastmasters comes with a government health warning. You can get hooked. Congratulations.
Thank you, Helen. You're not the only one who got addicted here. Thank you so very, very much. Now, Jim Jameson and then Anthony Garvey, please.
Hello, my name is Jim Jameson. I brought as a prop my favorite whiskey. I've been in Toastmasters since 1997 in 8 clubs in 3 cities. I'm now retired in North Texas, where I'm a member of 2 clubs, in Keller and in Colleyville, along with 2 other members here, and I frequently teach Pathways webinars. Congratulations on your 50th.
Thank you very much, Jim. Lovely. And now Anthony Garvey, where are you? Yes, Anthony Garvey.
Hello. I've been to Blarney maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's a fantastic club with a great atmosphere, and I would encourage you to pop in if you haven't been to an actual meeting rather than a celebration like today. It's just a great club to go visit. I'm a member of 2 clubs, one in District 71, Tralee Toastmasters, and this one behind me in District 91. Both of those are great clubs too. But Blarney's night tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Meltem from Turkey, you're next, and then Kent Slemons, please.
Congratulations, all club members. Thank you for the invitation. We want to celebrate all the future members and wish success. Over to you, dear Paul.
Thank you ever so much. Kent, you're next, and then Samir Malik. Where are you? Anyway, there we are. Kent, you're next, please.
All right. Thank you, Paul, and congratulations to Blarney Toastmasters for 50 years. I'm seeing a lot of people that I've seen online before. I'm a member of 3 online clubs, one in Birmingham, Alabama, Vulcan Voices, which is here in the U.S., and a club in the fair city of Dublin, Castleknock Toastmasters, and also a member of a club in Glafada, Greece, Glafada Toastmasters. And back to you, Paul.
Oh, thanks a million, Kent. It's lovely to have you with us. And now I'd like to invite Danny Banks. And following Danny Banks, I'd like to invite, let me just think. Oh dear, it's getting tricky
Did
now.
I get an invite?
Samir, sorry. Yes, of course. Samir, you're first, and then Danny Banks.
Thank you so much, Paul, for the invitation. Blarney Toastmasters, congratulations on 50. I got my start in District 71 with Didsbury Speakers back in 2012. And I see so many wonderful faces from my experiences. Hopefully, I'll be back to Toastmasters this year. Congratulations, Blarney.
Well, Samir, thank you very much. If this evening encourages you to come back soon, everyone will gain. Thank you very much, Samir. Now, who did I say next? I said somebody next. Who?
Danny Banks.
Oh, Danny Banks. Danny, please.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for the welcome to this magnificent evening. I am District Director for District 71, and so we send greetings from the leadership team of the district to Blarney on its successful 50th anniversary. So well done. Myself, I'm a member at Leicester City Speakers in the East Midlands of England, and Molly Malone Advanced Club based in Dublin. So congratulations to you tonight and well done.
Thank you ever so much, Danny. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite now Charles Malone, and after Charles Malone, I would like to ask Eric Downey. So, Charles Malone.
Thanks, Paul. Well, as you know, I'm a shy farmer from County Offaly. I remember 3 clubs, Tullamore, Longford, and the US Emirate Isle. I just want to congratulate Blarney for their big success in their 50th anniversary. I was a member there a couple of years ago, and I had a brilliant time. And Paul was a big help to me back then. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles. Charles now was Division Director of the Year in District 71 last year. Who did I say next? So Violetta Saladien, please. And after Violetta,
Eric Downey.
To invite, sorry, Eric Downey is next, and then Violetta. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Paul, for the invite. Congratulations, Blarney, on the 50th anniversary. Well deserved. And to be honest with you, I'm only here for the beer.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you. Violetta, please, you.
Congratulations, Blarney Toastmasters, on an incredible milestone, 50 years of anniversary. That's your birthday. It's an empowering 50 years of empowering of individuals to find their voice and to lead. So that is truly inspiring. And I'm a member of Toastmasters Club, that is Shilling Speakers in District 91. But I started my journey.
Thank you, Violetta. Thank you ever so much. I haven't asked anybody to go yet, so I'm going to. Oh, maybe Timothy Green, please. Oh, you spoke already. Pardon me.
No, I didn't.
Timothy, you're next then, and then Andrew Grainer, please. Timothy.
Okay. I've just looked it up. I've been a member of Tullamore Toastmasters, where I live, since April 2011, and I'm now on the USS Emerald Isle since October, just last year. And I'm in Toastmasters. I keep meeting fascinating people, learning interesting things, and it's a creative outlet to give speeches, so it's fun. That's why I'm here, and I hope to have fun tonight. Congratulations, Blarney.
Oh, thank you, Timothy, very much. So, Andrew Grainer, please, next.
Thank you, Paul, for the invitation. And on behalf of Area J22 in District 91, which I am the area director of, I want to congratulate Blarney speakers on their 50th anniversary. I'm lucky to have made it to 50, so it's an achievement that the club can make it that long. Thank you very much, and congratulations from the West Coast of USA.
Well, thank you ever so much, Andrew. Now, can I invite Chuck Menchik, please? Chuck.
Hey, everybody at Blarney, congratulations. And this is Chuck Menchik from Fort Worth, Texas. I'll tell you more about me because I'm one of the speakers, but I am so happy to be here. I am an online pioneer plus a Pathways pioneer doing Pathways projects before it was even called Pathways as a learning master. I was one of the alpha testers. All right. We'll hear a little bit more from me in a little bit. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much, Chuck. Patricia Snyder, would you mind being next, please?
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much, and congratulations to 50 years. This is very impressive. I'm Patricia, a friend of Moira's, and I only went to my first in-person Toastmasters meeting last week here in Montreal, and so I'm hoping to continue with Toastmasters and maybe with Blarney, who knows?
Oh, Patricia, now that's a real teaser. We'd love another member. That would be fabulous. Thank you, Patricia, ever so much. Can I invite now Therese Kinahan to be our next introduction, please, Therese.
Good evening from the heart of Ireland. I'm in Toastmasters 10 years, though I started my public speaking when I was in primary school. That was a little bit before that. Congratulations to the Blarney team, and thank you for inviting me this evening. During the last 10 years, I've enjoyed going through all the roles and up to division director. I've been involved in organizing conferences and contests, and I enjoy that immensely. And I kiss the Blarney Stone.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you ever so much. I'm now going to shock our timer and invite Moira O'Brien, if you can hear me. Would you mind introducing yourself, Moira? Yes, you have to unmute though, Moira.
How true. My name is Moira O'Brien. I have been a Toastmaster since 2015, and I joined Blarney at the end of 2015. So I'm currently the longest standing member in the club, though there are one or two members, ex-members here who beat me to that. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, and I am a Toastmaster junkie. And thank you so much, everyone, all 69 of you, for coming to this wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Moira. I always thought you joined at the end of 2014, but leave that aside. We'll move on, and I would now like to invite somebody from the second screen. Let me see. Could I invite Philip Campani? And after that, if possible, could Vinette Hoffman-Gibbs possibly speak? Philip, please.
Hello, Paul and everybody. I bring you greetings from two clubs, Wordsmith Online, which I started a little over a year ago, and an in-person club called NACE Toastmasters. I've had the honor of speaking at Blarney in the past, and I hope to do so again, and I wish you all the best for the years ahead.
Thank you very much, Philip. Vinette, lovely to see you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vinette Hoffman-Gibbs, prodigal Toastmaster, but it's lovely to be amongst friends and seeing some familiar faces on the screen. I had to turn up this evening because there are three things on offer that I never say no to, and that is Toastmasters first and foremost, a birthday party, and of course, Paul O'Malley. Who can say no? So lovely to be here, Paul, and congratulations, Blarney.
Well, thank you ever so much, Vinette. Now, Teresa Rhodes, would you mind being next? And Eileen Hopkins, if you're able to speak. Teresa.
Hello, hello, Paul. I've been a Toastmaster since 2009, and I belong to Luton Toastmasters, but I've often been a guest at Blarney Toastmasters, and I wish them all the best for the congratulations for 50 years.
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you very, very much. And did I ask anyone to go next? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yes, I did. Eileen Hopkins, yes, please.
Hi, I'm Eileen Hopkins. I'm a member of Toastmasters since 2017. I'm a member of Swords Toastmasters in Dublin. And congratulations to Blarney Toastmasters. I haven't visited in person, but someday, who knows? Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so, so much. Now, could I invite Donna Lou Shelders to be next, please? And after that, Larry Lyons.
Yes, I'm joining from Germany, and I've been a member of Blarney since about 2 years, and I'm most honoured to be able to experience Blarney's 50th birthday party. And I have been to Cork in person, but I haven't kissed the Blarney Stone yet.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. Larry Lyons, please.
Thank you, Paul, for the invite, and it's great to be here tonight for this wonderful occasion. I'm a member of Toastmasters of Golf, as yourself is, and I'm also a member of Roscrea Speakers Club, a hybrid club. We're looking for a few members, so anyone who would like to join, you're welcome. I'm also District 71 parliamentarian, and I'm busy at the moment doing a speechcraft programme, and I will be running a parliamentary procedures session in the beginning or the middle of February. So watch out for that link. Thank you, Paul, and best of luck to Blarney.
Oh, thank you, Larry, ever so much. And you've just reminded me to say, if any of you would be looking for extra members in your club, you can use the chat and do a pitch. Now, that isn't a bad piece of communication skills practice there. So I'll leave that to you now. I'm going to call on Nick Lacani, and I'm then going to call on Stas for Shinnin. Nick Lacani, please.
Thanks very much for the invite, Paul. Congratulations to Blarney Toastmasters. Great to see all the lovely friends on the screen over here. I first met Paul in person over 5 years ago. Never trust first instincts. I do like him now. Blarney Club, fantastic club. I've been to Blarney, not kissed a stone. I'm happily married, and I'm in Toastmasters, Toastmasters for Golf, and outside Toastmasters, I'm creating a community called Digital Communicators. Back to you.
Thank you ever so much, Nick. Stas, please, and then Entati, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm calling from Israel. Happy to be here. Congratulations, Blarney Club. It's always a pleasure to join your meetings, and happy anniversary. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Stas. Thank you very much. He's been to many of our meetings, delighted, and he's also a member of Shilling Speakers. So, Entati, and then I'd like to ask Oji if she would please introduce herself. Entati, how is your connection?
Thank you very much. I am Ntati Mokhanso. I'm in South Africa. I belong to a leadership speak Advanced Toastmasters Club in District 86, one of the top clubs globally. I extend a heartfelt congratulations to your Toastmasters Club on reaching this magnificent milestone of 50 years. May this golden anniversary.
Thank you very much, Entati. Thank you ever so much. I'm always a little unsure because in South Africa, it's possible that you get outages on your connectivity, but wonderful. Now, OG, if you can hear me, and after you, I'd like Lucinda Harmon, please.
Hi, this is OG. I'm so excited to be here. It's past bedtime in Dubai. It's 1 a.m. plus, and I just wanted to be here to say congratulations. Well done. I'm super proud of you and all you've achieved, impact you've made in the lives of people. I'm so glad to see some of my good old friends here. Paul, thank you for the invite. Nick, great to see you here. All the best for the next 50 years of this club. Well done to you.
Oh, thank you, OG. Thank you so, so much. I was asking Lucinda Harmon. Yes, Lucinda, hello.
Greetings from South Africa and from my new little boy, 9-week-old little puppy. So decided I'm going to bring him to the 50-year Blarney celebration. Happy birthday, Blarney. I would have said kiss the stone, too many people have said that. So I decided I'm bringing this guy to come to his first Toastmaster meeting. I think it's a pretty good start. He's got quite a voice on him. And I thought it's a good bedtime story in South Africa since we're already at about 10:25. Happy birthday. And Paul, honor salute to you for getting all these people in the room. Got to give you 100% for that. That was that.
Oh, you know, I'm indeed terribly fortunate. Anyway, enough about me. But I just want to say, apropos of Lucinda's dog, a few years ago, and Nick Lacani was one of the people involved in this, a number of us had a conversation about the possibility of setting up a club called Toastmasters for dogs. Hands up everybody who's got a dog. And hands up everybody who quite likes talking about their dog with other dog owners. You see, there's a basis of a club, Nick, that idea will never die. Thank you ever so much there. Now, I'd like to invite, well, I can see him there. Ted Corcoran, please. Ted, the idea is to introduce yourself in 30 seconds, and that really, well, I won't give her a name. Moira O'Brien is muting everybody after 30 seconds. So, Ted.
Oh, wow, Paul. I want to congratulate Blarney on the 50th, but I also want to congratulate that club because with Fermoy, founded in 1970, Cork in 1967, and Clonakilty, these four clubs provided the basis for the growth of clubs in the south of Ireland. And it's hard to believe that in 1986, there were just 20 Toastmasters clubs in Ireland, just 20. And those four clubs, Clonakilty sadly is no longer with us, made it possible. Today, nearly 40 years later, there are 136 clubs. So congratulations on your 50th, but congratulations also for keeping the boat afloat. I have happy memories of Blarney because I competed in the first District 71 humor speech final in 1987. And because all the Cork judges didn't vote for me, because I'm from Kerry, I didn't win. I didn't place. But in 1975, Kerry did win the All-Ireland. Back to you, Paul.
Oh, thank you, Ted. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Now, Gisela, please, will you be next? Would you mind being next, Gisela? If you can, if you can come in, that would be wonderful. You'll have to unmute.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, I'm Gisela Byens, and I'm based in Belgium. And I went once to the Club of Blarney 2 weeks ago, and I had a great evening. And I wish you a lot of success and another 50 years coming. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful. And now I'd like to invite Kathy Smart. And Kathy, forgive me, the second part of your name, which I only know on WhatsApp. I can't see it on the screen in front of me. Oh, yeah, Smart Preston. Kathy, please, you next.
Hi. Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Paul, thank you so much for the delightful invitation to be here to celebrate with you. My name is Kathy Smart Preston. Some people call it Kathy Smart Person. I'll take it. I'll accept it, but it's a joy to be with you to celebrate. Best wishes. I have 11 seconds. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Kathy, thank you ever so much. I'd like now to invite Geroid Murphy, and then I'd like to invite Celia from Shilling Speakers. Celia, you might put your name in there. I know Shilling Speakers are very strong in this meeting, but Geroid, if you're there, actually, if you are there and able to speak, maybe.
Yeah.
Geroid.
I am here. Apologies coming in from my older laptop, but I want to congratulate Blarney Toastmasters on a fabulous achievement. I have worked closely with some of the members over the past 8 years. Incredible club. Paul, Moira, Ted, and wishing every continued success in the future. And yeah, I think it helped me get the gift of the gab over the past few years.
Celia, you have to unmute.
Paul, you were muted.
Hi.
Celia.
Cheery greetings. Paul, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Oh, that's good. Cheery greetings from Athens, where we still have 12 degrees at night. Yes, I was invited here by Paul. Thank you. Thank you having invited me here at Blarney for your golden anniversary. Not by your English setter. I was expecting perhaps as a proud dog owner, an invitation also from your dog. I am a Toastmaster since 2019. I started from Europe, Groningen, then jumped to Belgium, and then here I was. I wasn't prior to Shilling, I have to admit, and I stayed online. Thank you very much for having me tonight. I hope that maybe I can one day say I.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you ever so much. I'd like to invite Tejas from India next, please, if possible. And after that, I'd like to invite Zoya, please.
Thank you, Paul. I hope I'm audible. It is a wonderful gathering here today, a momentous occasion. So many incredible international speakers. I feel as if I could randomly put my finger on a globe and somebody from that location would probably be here in this meeting. My name is Tejas Mane. I'm from India. I'm a Toastmaster who's part of Titan Toastmasters. I used to live in California. Now I'm back home in India.
Thank you. Thank you, Tejas. Thank you very, very much. I'd like to invite Zoya, if you're there, and after...
Zoya asked me to read what she put in the chat. It's brief. Zoya from Ukraine, Toastmaster for 26 years, charter member of the first club in Ukraine, mother of 1, grandma of 3, wife of the best man, teacher of English. Hooray, Blarney.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. Such collaboration. I love it. I am going to invite Ed O'Sullivan. Ed, please introduce yourself, member of Blarney Toastmasters. Ed.
Hello, Paul, and everyone else. Paul, very good friend of mine. I'm delighted to make a very short, I'm quite late joining this meeting tonight. It's a pleasure, though. I'm working in Germany at the moment in a hotel room. I'm astonished with the number of people that I can see on screen here tonight. And I'd one or two speakers ago mentioned several different countries and reckoned that no matter where he'd put his finger on the globe, he'd get to speak to somebody.
Thank you very much, Ed. Thank you ever so much. Moira O'Brien is muting everybody after 30 seconds. So thank you so very, very much. I'd now like to invite Honora. Honora, would you like to speak, please, Honora?
Thank you very much, Paul. I am Honoratian Rebego from Senegal, Dakar. My birth country is Burkina Faso. Happy birthday to Blarney Toastmaster. I enjoy to be with you all with celebration.
Thank you, Honora, very much. Jaya, would you be able to speak, Jaya? If you can come in, you're next. And if not, I'd like to go to somebody who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Says he's scanning everybody. Jaya, can you speak?
Yeah. I'm joining from Dubai. I've been attending Toastmaster different clubs to speak. And wishing you a happy anniversary for the club. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you very much. And we're very fortunate to have you visit Blarney as often as you do. So that's wonderful. I am now reaching the point where my memory isn't astonishingly good. I usually refer to it as a sieve. I'd like Dennis Murphy, please. Dennis, could we have a little introduction of yourself?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Paula. Thank you very much. I agree with the previous speaker who said that the Blarney Toastmasters should come with a bit of a health warning, that it gets addictive. I definitely am one of those who attests to this. It was about 4 years ago. I randomly turned on the Zoom, attended a meeting at Blarney Club, met all the other members, and I haven't left since. I'm absolutely enjoying it, and I hope everybody enjoys their meeting tonight. And thanks once again for being with us.
Thank you ever so much, Dennis. Right. What I'd now like is anybody who hasn't yet had a chance to introduce themselves to please put up your hand or speak. Jim Plunkett, do I see your hand up? Jim Plunkett, over to you, please, Jim.
Thank you, Paul, and congratulations on the 50th anniversary of the club. Wonderful. Well, I was born and raised in New York and New England, and eventually married a Peruvian girl, came to Peru in 1964. And the next year I joined a club called Toastmasters. So I am celebrating also. I'm celebrating 60 years as a Toastmaster in Lima, Peru. And luckily they allowed women to come in 1973. So I decided not to.
Oh, Jim, fantastic. I don't know anybody who has been in Toastmasters as long as Jim has, and he has continuous membership. Now, anybody who knows somebody who has longer continuous membership than Jim Plunkett, please put their name in the chat. Now, I'm not claiming to know everything. Now, I want to introduce you to a poet, to our District 71 sorry, I shouldn't be introducing you, should I? Prince Aqua, please, over to you.
Hello, Paul. Hello, everybody. My name is Prince Aqua, the District 71 poet in residence. Thank you for the invite. I've been a member of Toastmasters since 2019, and I visited Blarney Speakers Club last year. Had a great, wonderful time. Experienced a lot of wonderful speeches, and the hospitality was warm as always. So when I got the invite, I knew I definitely had to be here tonight. So thank you for the invite, Paul, and thank you all.
Thank you very much, Prince. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Val from Bedford in the UK. Val, please.
Thank you for inviting me to be here, and congratulations to you all. I've been a Toastmaster for 19 years. I belong to 8 clubs, but since COVID, I've been going to so many clubs, and I've met so many of you before, and it is really brilliant to be here and to meet everybody again. And thank you, Paul Amani, for all the work you put in.
Well, thank you very much, Val, for coming here. I had no idea you were a member of so many clubs. Is anybody here a member of more clubs than Val? If so, put your name in the chat, please. We have a special award, a case of champagne, for anyone who's a member of more clubs than Val. And this will be delivered by... Anyway, never mind how it'll be delivered. I'll bring it to your house. But Geeta, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Geeta and I'm from Southampton in England. I'm a member of 3 clubs: Shilling Speakers, Cornerstone Communicators and Solent Speakers. But I'm a regular visitor to Blarney, and I thank you all so much for your warmth and all the love that it's so lovely to be with you all. Thank you everybody, and happy 50th birthday, Blarney. Thank you for the lovely invitation. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, I believe that everybody has had a chance to speak. So let me summarize the rest. Thank you so much. Thank you ever so much. And it's kind of a bit humbling to discover that so many people have found it good use of their life to come and celebrate with us. I can't tell you what this means to myself, and I'm sure to all the members of this club. We, as I say, began life 50 years ago. Big thanks to the Toastmasters who set up the club. And we have not just survived, we've thrived. Thousands of people in Cork, and thankfully people in other parts of the world over the last few years, have benefited from our club, just as they have benefited from your club. So I think it's worth bearing in mind that everybody who comes to a meeting in your club goes out into society and mixes with other people. And they will say something. Hopefully they'll say something very good, but hopefully they'll come back and hopefully they'll pick up something that Toastmasters was set up to do, the ability to be better communicators, and through being better communicators, be better able to bring about a better society. So congratulations to every one of you. Now, it's going to give me great pleasure. I put the agenda into the chat.
Paul, can I just interrupt 1 second? Mary Jo Shaheen from Lebanon has come on, and I'm sure she'd like to say hello.
Oh, I would love her to, because she was a guest. Apart from everything else, she was a guest on the Irish Talkers podcast many years ago, and I'll never forgotten that. Mary Jo, please.
Hi, hello everyone. Sorry, I'm very late to the party. Thank you, Paul, for inviting me. I'm just realizing it's a very special meeting for you guys. So this is Mary Jo. Some of you may recognize me from Firebirds. I was also founder of Mercury in Lebanon. Now I reside in Dubai. It's been a year, and it's very, very lovely to see many familiar faces in the participants. Thank you so much, Paul, for inviting me to this special event.
Thank you so much. I've never forgotten you telling me how much the Toastmasters membership fee had gone up over several years due to the devaluation of the currency in Lebanon. It was a bit shocking, I have to admit, when I converted it into how would I feel if the cost of my membership went up 7 times in 18 months. Anyway, we now have a prepared speaker. And he's already introduced himself, Mark Laverne. And I had the great pleasure of meeting Mark face to face in California at the International Convention in August. And if I tell you that what Mark is going to talk about in his speech, which is about what Toastmasters was like 50 years ago, is but a tiny, tiny bit of what this man knows and this man has shared. Because this man has gone through every single year and pulled together all the sources. Some are more widespread. So I want to say, here comes a distinguished historian of Toastmasters and a distinguished leader in Toastmasters. Before you start the speech, Mark, in which year were you on the board of Toastmasters, please?
Thank you, Paul. I had the great honor of serving with your fellow Irishman, Ted Corcoran. We were two-year directors together. We were both elected in 1996, and we served together for 2 years. Ted brought so much wisdom and good times to the board. He went on, of course, he had our full support, his colleagues, to go on and to become an international president. And so I'm delighted to be here. And everything I'm going to share with you today, I learned it from Ted. So there you go. Back to you, Paul.
Well, no, back to you with a speech now entitled a 5 to 7 minute speech, which will not be evaluated, but will just be appreciated. And at the end of the speech, we will have a little bit of time for you all to send comments, feedback to Mark in the chat.
Mr. Toastmaster, I believe the speech is 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, well, the speaker will speak. He will, please don't mute Mark Laverne until he goes over 10 minutes. Okay, looking back 50 years, Toastmasters, Mark Laverne, please.
Hey, thanks so much, Toastmaster Paul and fellow Toastmasters and friends. Congratulations on 50 years. It's an extraordinary thing. I also want to just recognize again our past international president, Ted Corcoran, district director, Danny Banks, all of, and I think, who's the lady who's coming in from Dubai, where it must be, what is it, after 2 a.m. in the morning? OG. Thanks to all of you, 70 or more guests from, looks like 20 or 30 countries around the world. And thanks to all of the dignitaries and leaders for being here today. What I'm going to be attempting to do is to try to place the founding of this club in a historical context. Okay, what was it like in 1975? Now, there's a lot I don't know. There's so much I'm still learning. So bear with me. You probably, I'm sure everyone in this room, everyone in the Zoom call knows something about some aspect that I'm going to share. They know more about that aspect than I do. So bear with me. And if you have some areas of improvement, please send them to me privately. I'm always learning. History is a learning process. So thanks for your support. When we think about Toastmasters in 1975, we got to look at the countries that were involved. Ireland. And I did a little bit of research, and I was just delighted to learn that the great Irish statesman, the gentleman, by the way, born in New York City, where I live right now, on the Upper East Side back when he was born, the famous Irish statesman, Eamon de Valera. He was, of course, the president of your country. He was involved with the Constitution and getting things going. Both he and his wife, Sinead, both passed away in 1975 at different times. She predeceased them by a few months, and each was in their 90s. So that was part of the Irish scene in 1975. In 1975, for the very first time, Ireland assumed the presidency of the European Union under the administration, and hopefully I pronounce this correctly, Taoiseach, the Taoiseach or Prime Minister or President of Ireland, Liam Cosgrave. And for those of you like me, my generation, it's important to know that in 1975, Paul David Hewson turned 15 years old, and his mates began to call him Bono. His mates in the neighborhood began to call him Bono, and there he's pictured there. This was taken a few years before 1975. His mother, Iris, as you may know, died in the fall of 1974, prematurely, young death. Affected him and his art a great deal. So there's Bono as a young teenager. Again, 1975 was an important year for Bono and for all of the Irish. Now, what was the United States? And why the United States? Why do I focus on the United States? Because that was where Toastmasters, it was headquartered then. It's still headquartered. Back then, U.S. clubs comprised about, we'll go into it later, about 75% of the clubs worldwide. And so the scene in the U.S. is important to note. It was a difficult and challenging year. I lived through that year. President Nixon had just resigned a year earlier. It was a lot of uncertainty in the politics. Saigon fell in April 30th of that year, and thus really in a very significant way ended Western participation in the affairs of Vietnam. And of course, the OPEC, the embargo, I know it affected Ireland, and it definitely affected the US. I still remember the long lines for oil, gasoline, or I think what you all call petrol. What about Toastmasters? Well, let's look at a couple of things involving Toastmasters. This may shock you, but today, the Toastmaster membership fees, hopefully I get this right, are $120 a year, $10 a month, 12 months. Back then, 50 years ago, they were $18 a year. So you can see a sevenfold. Somebody mentioned how dues has increased sevenfold over 18 months. Well, in terms of Toastmasters International globally, our Toastmaster membership fees in US dollars has boomed sevenfold over the last 50 years, from $18 per year per member to $120 per year per member. There's perspective for you. At the time, in 1975, Toastmasters was largely a US-centric outfit. I don't know if you can see the bottom of my screen, but US-Canadian clubs comprised about 90% of the total, whereas today, US-Canadian clubs, I didn't look at it, but it's about 45% of the total today. So again, a very different organization then 50 years ago than it was today. And of course, today, all those little circles represent places where we have districts in place to support Toastmaster clubs. Very, very different situation. Hey, another thing to keep in mind, 1975 was a very tough year for Toastmasters. It's hard to explain. We're not really sure why, but sometime beginning in the late 1960s, 67, 68, well, even before then, in the mid-60s, you started seeing a leveling off of the growth. In the 15 or 20 years following the end of World War II, Toastmasters grew like 7, 8, 10-fold in size. And by the early 60s, it was like the golden time for Toastmasters International. But at the beginning of the mid-60s, the growth rates began to level off, and worse, starting in the late 60s, Toastmasters shrunk in real terms. Now, kind of like what's happening today, in very real terms, Toastmasters has been shrinking. The tapering off began in around 2018, 2017. And then, of course, the COVID, the pandemic, really has affected us deeply. Well, we have the same kind of problem. And this is a chart that was published a few years later in the late 70s. And you can see that the 1975 was the bottom point. We had gone from about 3,600 clubs in the late 60s to 3,400 clubs in 1970, all the way down to slightly over 3,000 clubs in 1975. But then that year was the year of recovery. And you can see in the late 70s, we began to grow and rise. Where today, now we're at 14,000 plus clubs. So 75, when this club was charted, it was charted at a time just when Toastmasters was beginning to turn around its fortunes. And I think it's quite significant that Cork Toastmasters, which was the sponsor club for this one, was chartered in 1967. That was about the time that Toastmasters began to experience net decline, a net decline that lasted 7-8 years until 1975. So it was a tough, difficult time. Past international president Ted Corcoran, in his famous history of Toastmasters for the United Kingdom and the British Isles, has talked about it. He's interviewed some of the people that were there. I've interviewed some of them. They couldn't meet the payroll. They had difficulty meeting the payroll at Toastmasters International. They had difficulty getting the magazine out because they couldn't pay the postage bill. In the mid-70s, things were tough, and this club was charted at that very tough time. Of course, 1975 meant, with tough times, new leadership. And we had a new leadership. That's the gentleman on the left was Buck Engel, who was the executive director from 1967-75. And then, of course, his successor was a first generation Irish American. That's right. The great contribution of the Irish diaspora to the United States included, of course, Terry McCann, who was the executive director or CEO of Toastmasters for over a quarter century. And it was during his time that we saw an enormous lift in the scope and the growth of Toastmasters. So that was one of the factors. new leadership. But I think probably the biggest factor that affected all of us in Toastmasters in the 1970s was of course, I'll just skip over that, was of course women. And it was Ireland that led the way. In fact, before, as you all know, 1973 was when Toastmasters officially opened the doors to women, but it was a few years before that. And again, Ted knows there's a complicated history that has to do with going back to the early 60s when some of the Irish clubs wanted to have women, and they were allowed, but it was kind of unofficial. But in 1972, the Irish clubs were allowed officially to have women in their clubs. And of course, the following year, you had women in Toastmasters officially. In 1975, the year this club was chartered, the first ever woman district director was elected in, where else? She was from Denver, Colorado, where world headquarters is today. How fitting, how appropriate. She was the district director elected for District 26. Her name was Marilyn Boland. I've been in touch with her daughter, trying to get more information about her, but a remarkable lady. What about the role of our, and of course, this is from the February 1975 cover of the Toastmaster magazine. Toastmasters as people. You may think that seems rather commonplace, but you can see they had an illustration of a man and a woman, giving you a sense of how Toastmasters was beginning to open its doors and becoming more sensitive to women and open to women. Finally, Toastmasters in 1975, we've got to point out that it was Ireland who helped lead the way. Yes, there you are. That's the listing for the new club section of the April 1975 issue of the Toastmaster magazine. Blarney Club, Club 3579. It met at the time in the Imperial Hotel in South Mall section of Cork City, and it was sponsored by Cork Toastmasters. So way to go. And I don't know if the Imperial Hotel is still there. I didn't have time to look it up, but somebody here will tell me, I'm sure, undoubtedly. And of course, that same year, there was an article in the Toastmaster magazine by listen to this, we have area directors. Ted Corcoran and I remember when they were called area governors. Back then, they were called area presidents. And so the area president for Irish Toastmasters Club, Neil O'Riordan, they misspelled his name there, I'm afraid to say. He said Irish clubs are growing and growing strong. And sure enough, that same year, Neil O'Riordan of Ballyvolane, Cork, Ireland, was the first ever Irish citizen to serve as a Toastmasters district director or governor. He was elected 1975, 1976 for District 71. Finally, it should be pointed out, there's Ted. That's a bad photo. I do apologize. There they are. I mean, I tell you, from the time, I know when Ted got involved and Brian and all the wonderful leaders of District 71 in Ireland, beginning in the late 80s, early 90s, really, District 71 just took off. And I dare say it was the Irish gift to Toastmasters International, the distinguished club program that we have today. We got to give thanks to Ted Corcoran and his colleagues in District 71 and the Irish for making it happen. So thank you very much. Congratulations on 50 years. Congratulations on being part of the history of the last 50 years, the Blarney Toastmasters Club. And may we see 50 more great years from this club and from Toastmasters International. Back to you, Toastmaster Paul.
Oh, how wonderful. How wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark. It's so good of you to come over and be with us and talk to us about the beginning of Toastmasters in Cork and Blarney. Now, our immediate past president, Lillian Courtney, is going to give a vote of thanks on everyone's behalf to Mark for his speech. So Lillian Courtney, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I must say, thank you so much for going through the whole history from 1975 up to date. And I'd like to give a vote of thanks to Mark for telling us in detail and the information that you've given. That wasn't a speech to me. That was an actual education. And I am so looking forward to actually looking afterwards at the recording because I want to go through it. And I live only up the road from Ballyvolane, and Neil O'Riordan, which I hadn't heard about, the first ever Irish citizen, I have so much taken down. The First Lady in 1972, Maria Payne. Thank you so much, Mark, for your information. It was an absolutely, like, as I said, it wasn't a speech, it was an education to all of us here. And I thank you because it brought forward just such amazing history to Cork as well as Ireland and combining the globe. Thank you so much, Mark. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Wonderful. And thank you, Lillian. Thank you very, very much. Now we have a second prepared speaker. And our second prepared speaker has been to Blarney Club. He came to Blarney Club on the invitation of Bill Hayden. And a little Bill Hayden story. Bill Hayden sent a message to Toastmasters International website after he just fancied the name Blarney. That was all, knew nothing about Blarney, didn't know where it was, looked up and saw there was this club called Blarney. So he sends a message to Toastmasters International, who send it on, I get it, and I essentially rang him up. And we talked via WhatsApp, I think. And I think we got on. We clicked, the two of us. And within a few days, Bill said, I want to join your club. That's stage one. Now imagine, he's in Chicago. He's talking to this guy. And we did click. I'm sure we did a Zoom meeting. And then he came to his first Blarney, he joined, came to his first Blarney meeting. And early on in the meeting, he said, and when Blarney Club holds its first face-to-face meeting or hybrid meeting, I'll be there. Little did he know, Bill Hayden, that there was a plan already in place. And 20 minutes later, I announced at the meeting that Blarney was going to hold a hybrid meeting in my kitchen, my house. Bill was hoisted by his own petard. That's a phrase which means he was caught out having promised to do something, and he was thereby obliged because he was brought up by his parents, as he told me, you must always keep your promise. So Bill got on a plane and came to the next meeting, flew from Chicago over to Cork, said, no, I'll stay in my own hotel, wouldn't stay in my house. Always hold that against him. But anyway, seriously, he then decided after time at Blarney meeting that he'd go to the District 71 conference, which was about to take place in Liverpool. Now, all that is by way of saying Bill Hayden isn't an ordinary person. And Bill Hayden invited Chuck to come to our club. And we built a bond. We built a relationship. And I leave Chuck to start his speech any way he likes. But he was involved in one of the most important developments that has taken place in Toastmasters International in the last 50 years. It happened very recently. And I remember when I joined Toastmasters in 2015, I said to myself, why on earth are we carrying around paper books in this age of the internet? That was me. So I'm now going to introduce you to a man who knows a lot about the development of online clubs. Chuck, over to you. The road to online.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you, everybody. It's just incredible to be here. I see so many wonderful familiar faces from my global travels. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. I was at one time a member of 9 clubs in District 25, an active member too. I never joined a club with someone to be an active member. I'm now down to 2, but I have my CPA wife has me on a very short leash. And guess what? I am getting ready to join Blarney. Now, I don't take that very lightly because I pick my clubs very seriously. So if you're looking for another club, Blarney is so wonderful. Plus, it matches my time here. As I mentioned, I'm in Fort Worth. I'm 4 DTMs, 2 pathways, 2 regular ones. I was part of the what they call the Learning Masters and also the Alpha and Beta team that we were doing testing on pathways before pathways even had a name for it. Now, before that, let's go back to 2014. Okay, I'm a retired IT guy. I was retired in 2017, and I've been a global mentor ever since then. Okay, and a bunch of us got together, and there was a program called WebEx that we were kind of testing out, and we went to the board and said, "Hey, what about online clubs?" Well, in the bylaws, telepresence had to be there, and only the corporate clubs were allowed to have online members because they had the equipment, the telepresence in their boardrooms and stuff to support that. Well, we kind of twisted and turned and everything else to say, hey guys, let's at least let us try it. Well, finally in 2015, the bylaws were rewritten to say, okay, regular clubs can have online members, every it was before it was everything was in person, had to be in person except for corporate. Okay. And I was a charter member of one of the first 5 clubs to be chartered. Now, those clubs, okay, you're 100% online, but those clubs are truly 100% online. And if you're a member of one of those, you're in District U, which is undistricted Area O. Those clubs are all there. They're kind of grouped together. There's about 40, 45 of them. Now, there's kind of special. Since they don't have a district representative, they don't have a district structure, they don't even have to have a year of service for their DTMs. Or they don't even have to go to TLI, but most of them do. But there's a caveat. You have to be a member of only the online type club. 100%. Okay. So that's kind of a little secret. Now, we did this testing and we did this, and the board of directors kind of hemmed and hawed, and finally, yes, they were allowed in 2015 to charter online clubs. Okay. It was a very much of a learning phase. I mean, we all just, oh my gosh, we were struggling in that. And of course, Firebird was there and Netizens was there, but we were all getting along quite well. Okay. And finally, okay, COVID hit. So how did we get here right now? And I hate to say this, but COVID did it. Okay. Because in March 2020, and I'm not going to say who called from district, who called from international, said, Chuck. I said, yes. He said, if we open up Pandora's box, are we going to be able to close it again? In other words, if they opened up online clubs to everybody, all districts and everything else, are they going to be able to close that box again? And I said, nope. Once you give them that taste of online clubs, which they had to do to COVID, it was time to, really take this seriously. Okay. So it's all worked out. And one thing, there's several benefits. Look at this. Look what we're doing today because of the online club experience. Now, Richard Peck decided during his presidency, he was going to be the first TI president to visit every single country Toastmasters had a club in. And it was absolutely phenomenal. There was a group of us called Peck's Groupies. And we went from Romania and England and France and Bonaire. I mean, we were at every single, I hit probably about 90% of the meetings. And my wife said, you're crazy. But it was so much fun talking to all the different people and seeing the cultures. And a lot of them would put themselves in the native dress. And it's just phenomenal to see the camaraderie. And what's done is just this worldwide arms around everybody that you get to meet these people. I mean, I see people on the screen that, I've been in meetings with and I know, and it's just, it just gives me goosebumps because it really does nail how this Toastmasters International is truly international. Before, when you went to a convention, oh, you got to meet people from all over the globe. But here, from the safety and the convenience of your desk here, at home, you get to see all these people. So that's kind of how we got there. But it was a learning experience from a tight group of testers that we were sitting there doing all kinds of research for the board and saying, well, they said, do you think this is going to work? I said, yes, it's going to work. Just give us a chance. And they did. And I want to thank Toastmasters International for that. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a phenomenal turnout. Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Bill, for telling me about Blarney.
And thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. And really, I want to thank you for the great enthusiasm you have had for the development of online Toastmasters. I have to say that personally, I'm terribly grateful to you and everybody else who helped bring this about. We now have a vote of thanks from Public Relations, Head of Public Relations at Blarney Club, Dana Lushelders. Oh, Dana, over to you.
Thanks, Paul. A massive, massive thanks to you, Chuck, for bringing all of this together and for just highlighting the essence of Blarney Toastmaster, of having online meetings with a global audience, and you being here tonight and giving a speech at Blarney Toastmasters 50th anniversary. It's so great to have you, and it was just incredible to listen to you and to remind us all of the camaraderie that online meetings can bring to Toastmasters and especially to Blarney. And I really hope that you and every one of us will get to meet each other in person after meeting online at some point. So thanks again to you, Chuck. Great to have you, and thanks for the speech.
And thank you, Dana. Thank you ever so much. Well, the next part of the meeting is impromptu speaking. Impromptu speaking. We're going to do our best to have 50 impromptu speeches. Moira O'Brien, I think an impromptu speech of a minute would be appropriate in the circumstances. So if you will control the impromptu speeches, I'm going to change the entire format of Toastmasters International. I'm going to give one topic for half the time, then slightly change it, tweak it for the second half. So I'm going to give a topic, and this is the topic. Tell us what Blarney means to you. Tell us what Blarney means to you. Now, let me explain. When I use the word Blarney, I'm not predetermining what that word means. It's for you to tell us what Blarney means to you. So it's not dependent on you having been here or kissed the Blarney Stone or anything like that. Everybody, the word Blarney means something to you. I'm going to start off, and I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask Lillian Courtney. Please, Lillian, you have 1 minute. What does Blarney mean to you?
Blarney means to me, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. What it actually means to me is, I suppose, the backing and the accountability partner that I have, specifically because I am a creative confidence coach. I do a lot of workshops, and I feel that sometimes your ability to speak and your ability with your knowledge is like a phone. It's like a battery. When it goes down, you have to plug in. And I do feel that you constantly need to level up. You need to be Lillian 1, Lillian 2, Lillian 3, Lillian 4. So every time I feel that my assertiveness, head up, shoulders back, stomach in, chest out, it's not just the way you speak, it's the way you hold yourself, it's the visual. It's so important. It's so important also that we know.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you. This is fun, you see. You can watch the clock, or you can even speak silently. Brilliant. I'd now like to pass that topic, what does Blarney mean to you, to Martin Farrell, please.
Blarney, to me, Mr. Topics Master, is Ireland. Blarney is recognised throughout the world. There's so many parts in Ireland that people have never heard of. But Blarney, yes, the Blarney Stone, I did kiss it many years ago, but it is the significance of the recognition, whether you're in New York, India, Germany, wherever you are, most people will know about Blarney. And looking at the screen tonight with upwards of 70 people, an awful lot more people will now know about Blarney Toastmasters. So there you go, Paul. You put it on the map if it wasn't on the map geographically before this. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, Martin Farrell. Thank you very, very much. What does Blarney mean to you, Tamara Evans? What does Blarney mean to you, Tamara Evans?
Being invited to Blarney means anticipating joy and excitement, an opportunity to serve by taking different roles to help out, and making and meeting with friends. Dear friends they become, and real friends are never apart, maybe in distance, but never in heart. So it's a joy and happiness to be a guest or a part of Blarney as it is. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well done, and thank you very much, Tamara. Now, what does Blarney mean to you? Ted Melanphy, what does Blarney mean to you?
Mr. Topics Master, Blarney means so much to me. I have the privilege of living in Blarney, in a little place called Waterloo, just outside Blarney. So it means a huge amount to me. It's where I built my home and where I raised 2 kids. And now I'm the father of 2 and the grandfather of 5. So Blarney started something in me. And Blarney Toastmasters, I am so grateful to Blarney Toastmasters for the education and also for the confidence and the competence it gave me to run my own business. So Blarney has a very big part of my heart. And you know, Paul, you're in there, and Moira is in there, and Lillian is in there, and all the Blarney members, Mike McGrath, all those people who were online tonight in this historic meeting, 50 years of Blarney. Fantastic. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Oh, that was wonderful, Ted. Thank you so very, very much. Well, let's find out. What does Blarney mean to you, Elizabeth Jordan? What does Blarney mean to you?
Well, one of the joys of having been the district director is getting to know not only people in the UK, but in Ireland. And I have to say how rich and profound I find the Irish culture. And so when I hear the word Blarney, it is a quintessential Irish word. I know it's now universal, but I think of Ireland. I think of the ability, not only having the gift of the gab, but having charm, being able to relate to anyone on the planet, and just having that beautiful gift of words. So to me, Blarney just means so much, but as I said, quintessentially Irish, and I'm delighted that it's a word that's now in my own vocabulary. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Wonderful. I'm now wondering, what does Blarney mean to Andrew Bennett? Andrew Bennett, what does Blarney mean to you?
Blarney to me means telling a tale, and not just any tale, a magical tale, a fantastic tale. And who could tell that tale better than the Blarney Toastmasters? The word gossamer comes to mind. Gossamer means fantastical and magical, and that's the kind of story that you may hear in a Blarney Toastmasters meeting. But also, you'll hear the stories with the personal touch, the personal stories and anecdotes. And it's important that any club, I think, is a safe space where the Toastmasters can share. So Blarney Toastmasters, your club is truly magical. You know, I love you all very much and think the world of you. Personal stories, descriptive language, magical tales. That, in a nutshell, is Blarney to me.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you ever so much. Let's go to the middle of Ireland now, the middle of Ireland. Therese Kinahan, you live close to the middle of Ireland in a place called Moat. What does Blarney mean to you?
Well, Paul, Blarney to me is not only a place, and a place that brings me joy whenever I visited and has great memories for me, but Blarney is also what people like you and Anthony Garvey use to get people to come to meetings and to get people to do things. I know Anthony is a professional Blarney person in his marketing, and you are a professional Blarney user to get people to come to meetings. And for those non-Irish among us, Blarney is inexplicable, really. And Blarney as a place is a beautiful, peaceful Irish village and worth visiting, not only to kiss the Blarney Stone, but to enjoy as an oasis, and beautiful castle and gardens. And I always enjoy visiting there. Now I'll have to find Ted next time. Thank you, Paul.
And thank you, Therese. Thank you so very, very much. Well, I think we'll go a little bit east of Therese, and let's go to Eamon McParland. Eamon, what does Blarney mean to you?
Hello there. Blarney. 50 years ago, when I went to a certain discotheque 3 nights in a row, another lady was dancing there 3 nights in a row, and she went off and got her Leaving Cert results, and a friend had a Leaving Cert party. I didn't know her name. I invited her to go to the party, and she happened to be in her class in school, and she is now living in Blarney, and we visited there frequently. So I'm very fond of Cork. Next month I will be having a little holiday in Kinsale. I did kiss the Blarney Stone 50 years ago, and although I didn't need to, perhaps, or if I'd known about Toastmasters, I wouldn't need to. So yes, Cork, the second capital of Ireland, Blarney, a fabulous place, and a place I love to go to see. Thank you.
Wow, Eamon, you're a time management master, I have to say. That was a really superb. Thank you so very, very much. Let me ask, what does Blarney mean to you? Marion Brennan, please. Marion Brennan, what does Blarney mean to you?
Well, Paul, I'm laughing here because when I hear the word Blarney, it brings a very different image to my mind. And it was as a child, this man used to come into our house in the evenings, and our house was a great place for storytelling. And we as children would be transfixed listening to these mad stories he'd come out with. And when he'd leave, we'd ask my dad, why didn't you tell us that? Or how true was that? Or that was amazing. and he'd say, ah, that fella's full of old Blarney. He don't be listening to him at all. And that's the image. There was my dad sitting at home listening to these stories, and he telling us that Paddy was full of Blarney. But that's the one thing that came to me. But of course, Blarney is known for its beauty, and I hope to visit there again soon. Thank you very much, Paul.
Oh, Marian, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, let me ask Mike McGrath, please. Mike, what does Blarney mean to you?
My first memory of Blarney would be when I came to Cork for the first time. The first night I spent in Cork was in Blarney, was in Christie's Hotel. And I had the pleasure of going in there and asking for a pint of Guinness. And the barman told me, sorry, boy, you're in Cork now, 'tis Murphy's down here. So that was my first introduction to Blarney. Thereafter, Blarney to me always means Blarney Toastmasters. It means Christie's Hotel. It means long walks and runs on the bird sanctuary. It's great memories of those meetings we had in the hotel, the great cups of tea, the chats, the icebreakers, the speeches, the evaluations, but most of all, the friendships. Thank you.
And thank you, Mike. Thank you ever so much. That's lovely. Let me ask the lady from Luton, Teresa Rhodes, what does Blarney mean to you?
Blarney means international. Blarney means being with people from all over the world, that we all get together and we have fun, but we also learn things. But it's wonderful to actually be in a club that has so many guests with so many places, but everybody's made welcome. And that's what Blarney means. I haven't been to Blarney in Ireland, but this year sometime we're planning to come to Ireland. So Blarney will be a good place to actually start. So that's what it means to me, international speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. That's fantastic. Lovely. Next, I'd like to go to Africa. I'd like to ask Honora what Blarney means to you, if you are still connected there. Honora, what does Blarney mean to you? Okay, I'll go to Nick Lacani. Nick Lacani, who has been to Blarney. Nick, what does Blarney mean to you?
It means one word: stress. Don't ever go there. When I went, I saw some friends and Paul, and what happened was that we were going to the pub, and the pub that we went to was in Blarney, and I had a choice, and it was so stressful: go to the pub or go to kiss the Blarney Stone. And Mrs. Nick said, don't kiss anybody or anything. Okay, we'll have to go down to the pub, and the pub is called, and I looked it up, the Muskerry Arms Bar in Blarney. And what were we going to do, Paul? We were going to go and watch the FA Cup final, Liverpool against Chelsea. We had to win, my team. We want to win. And we're meeting our good friend Ted over there. Absolutely brilliant. But Paul had to make an errand. Ted was a little bit delayed. And as kickoff was approaching, they were showing rugby on the TVs. All of them, all 37 TVs. Well, never again. We had to let Mrs. Paul know to get the fish back in the fridge. Back to you.
By the way, Nick was in the pub, not with Ted Corcoran. He was in the pub with Ted Melanphy and myself. Oh, yes, I won't forget that occasion. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Nick. Now, let's go to the United States and ask a person from the United States, what does Blarney mean to you? So I'll have to ask Ginny McNeice. What does Blarney mean to you?
Thank you, Paul. I don't need to go as yet to Ireland for the Blarney Stone, though I'd love that, because when I popped in and visited, I don't mean to sound corny, but it's like I was kissed on the cheeks and welcomed right in from day one. And I have just been blessed with the charm and the incredible fractured humor that I have to sometimes think about it just to understand. I've learned a great deal. I'm still learning. What I'm inspired by is I participate in contests. I don't do that. I just don't do that with my former club. I was too intimidated. Well, I'm happy to say I participated in the humorous contest and I won at our club level. That was just awesome. Okay. I also enjoy the flavor, shall we say, of meeting people.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you so very, very much. I'm going to go to Austin Tobin now. Austin, you're terribly welcome. I'm going to give you more than the 1 minute, though. I'm going to give you 1 minute, 30 seconds, please, Moira O'Brien, because Austin, would you mind starting out a 30-second introduction of yourself and then take the topic?
Thank you very much, Paul. I wasn't expecting this. Yes, who am I? I'm just, what does one say? I'm a Toastmaster. I'm one of the community we're all in. It is beautiful to be here with you. I've been at this 3 years and I came here not knowing how to communicate. I'd shut down. And by the end of this, you will realize that I like talking. Now, I'm going to go to the topic because I'm much more comfortable at that. Kissing the Blarney Stone. It is part of a castle, part of the fortifications. It is also a family home, or at least was back in the day. They discovered they needed to protect themselves. But why? Because people didn't like them for some reason. I don't know. I don't know the history of Blarney well enough. But here's the thing. They found something better. They found the gift of the gab. And they discovered that talking to people was one of the best ways of avoiding the fights and getting on better with people. And you know what? The Irish are famous for something. Having a good time. I remember one time listening to a friend and he was away on some trip. And people came to him because he was Irish, is Irish. And their reason was the Irish people have a good time. They had a great time with him. Now, what's that but an advertisement for Ireland?
Thank you, Austin. Thank you very much. I gave you extra time because the others had 30 seconds earlier to introduce themselves. So that was sort of... Now, I'd like to go to Susan Schultz. Susan Schultz, forgive me. Susan Schultz, what does Blarney mean to you? And if Susan isn't ready, I'll go to Helen Sexton next. Helen Sexton, please, what does Blarney mean to you?
I think the word just means talk. Now, there's talking and there's talking. And being a Dublin person, and Blarney is in Cork, we don't necessarily always consider what Cork people say is true. You know, we take it, as they say, with a grain of salt. But always, I think Blarney, after kissing the Blarney Stone, I don't know how I ever did it. I saw some very elderly Americans. I was only a kid doing it, and they were leaning over the castle, and I could have walked away. But I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. But I've never regretted it because I haven't shut up since. But as I say, Toastmasters has curtailed me now to 5 to 7 minutes or a minute as I see the clock here. But Blarney, I think, is any kind of talk, light-hearted talk that's not necessarily true, but fun. And I think fun is a big part of it and a big part of Toastmasters for me. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Scotland has been underrepresented at this meeting this evening. Underrepresented, but we have fortunately had the arrival of the representative of Scotland. And I'd like now to ask Jerry Dunn to introduce himself in no more than 30 seconds. And then, Jerry, what does Blarney mean to you? Jerry Dunn.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. It's a great privilege to be here and pay tribute to a club that's 50 years old. Believe it or not, I only discovered last week that the original Glasgow Toastmasters was founded in 1937, but we clearly didn't manage to keep it going for as long as you did. And the club that I'm from is only a mere 25 years old. So Blarney, I think to a Scot, thinking about Blarney and people that have kissed the Blarney Stone, that is the ability to talk rather pointlessly, but perhaps amusingly, for hours on end. But certainly, following Helen's speech, I'd have to say it's preferable to fighting, which is the normal first resort of Glaswegians. As you probably know, in the recent past, we've won the
Oh, right. Jerry, you've been muted. Moira, can I just check? Did Jerry have a minute and a half? If he didn't, we'll let him off for 30 more seconds.
He only had the 1 minute.
Will you give him another 30 seconds, please?
Sure.
Yeah, Jerry, you have to unmute yourself.
Irrespective of what the term Blarney might mean generally, I've not visited the town, but I have visited Blarney Toastmasters. And in contrast to that perception of what Blarney means in talk and language, I found Blarney Toastmasters not only to have a warm welcome, but also speeches and topics of exceptional quality. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. I will just slip in that Jerry is yet another member of Toastmasters for Golf. We leave that now for a second, and I'd like to go to Kathy. Kathy, would you mind speaking for a minute about what Blarney means to you?
Kathy meaning Kathy Smart Preston?
Oh, excuse me, Kathy Smart Preston.
Making sure, because we had so many people on this call. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest Zoom call for Toastmasters I've ever been in. What does Blarney mean to me? Blarney means, Paul, a new beginning of friendship. I was delighted to get your invitation. We met last year at the convention in Anaheim, and we had a lovely conversation. And I am looking forward to kissing the Blarney Stone, whatever that is. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I believe that I have some of the gift of gab, but I need more. So I need to visit. So Blarney to me means a future visit. I'll put it on my things to do list, and I will certainly look you up, Paul, once I get there. Thank you so much for inviting me. Back to you.
If you look me up, I'll take you round.
It's a deal.
There you are. There you are. Now, I'd like to ask Philip Campani. Please, Philip, what does Blarney mean to you?
There's a special kind of roguery that you use to charm your way out of being accountable for some breach of the rules in an Irish way. It takes charm, it takes confidence, it takes command and cajolery. That's Blarney. And the Blarney Stone is just the emblem and a great tourist attraction. And for example, an example of using Blarney, of course, is to say that Kelly Stuart Preston is a truly smart person. Mr. Toastmaster.
Oh, thank you, Philip. Thank you very, very much. That's lovely. Now I'm going to invite Evelyn Campani. Please, what does Blarney mean to you? Evelyn. By the way, it isn't Evelyn, in case any of you make the mistake I made a few years ago and was admonished accordingly. Evelyn, I've been trained. Over to you. What does Blarney mean to you? You have to unmute. You have to unmute.
There is an Irish expression that will say, "You're full of old blarney." Now, what does that mean? It means that you're full of whatever it takes to fill the space you've got to fill. However, they are very well-meaning, so you have to forgive them. Blarney has peace and tranquility. I was there once for a Toastmasters conference and I enjoyed it immensely. And I hope to be there in the not too distant future, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm full of Blarney, by the way.
Well, you haven't lost it, Evelyn. You haven't lost it. Well done. Well done. I'd now like to invite to introduce himself, because he wasn't here earlier, but I'd like him certainly to introduce himself in 30 seconds and then tell us, what does Blarney mean to him? Steve Campion, you're terribly welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Apologies for arriving late, but I just wanted to congratulate everyone at Blarney Toastmasters on this wonderful celebration. I was wondering, kissing the Blarney Stone apparently gives huge amounts of eloquence. I think I might have kissed the Bologna Stone, which is to talk a huge amount of foolishness, or possibly to eat a type of Italian sausage. It could be one, it could be the other. Either way, it's a lot of fun and it's a joyous occasion to be here with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve. Now, I'll tell you that Steve Campion is the Club Growth Director for District 71. Doing a super job bringing innovation in that area to District 71. Terrific guy, very, very helpful, helped me enormously. Definitely, Steve Campion, thank goodness you came. Thank you. Now I would like to ask, what does Blarney mean to you? Patricia Snyder, please. What does Blarney mean to you?
Thank you. That's a good question. I actually didn't know anything about the Blarney Stone. I just learned from you today. To me, Blarney means a memory of Ireland, where I spend some time. And it means friendship, because when I remember Ireland, I remember the people I met there, that I carry around in my heart. And yeah, so I guess to me, Blarney means Ireland and it means friendship.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Thank you. That's lovely. I'd like to go to Andrew Grainer, please, to find out what Andrew associates with Blarney. What does it mean to you, Andrew?
One moment. I can't find my...
Your sound is terrible.
Yes, I couldn't find my microphone. I have it now. What Blarney means to me, one of the definitions of Blarney is the gift of gab, and that brings to mind a quote that I think is apropos to Toastmasters, and particularly this club, and all Irish who have the gift of gab, which is never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I live by that, and I am just enjoying this, and so proud to be here. What Blarney means to me now, not beyond that, is friendship. And the people I've met, everyone I've ever met has been Irish or Irish descent, are lovely human beings, and I'm so proud to be associated with all of you. And congratulations again from my district to you.
Andrew, thank you very, very much. That's lovely. Absolutely lovely. I would like now to invite, is he desperately looking for a woman? Donna Lushelders, please. What does Blarney mean to you?
To me, Blarney also means Ireland, and quite like
Patricia, it also means friendship, because when I came to Ireland, to Cork, to do an Erasmus, it was the first time I've ever been abroad, like on my own for half a year. And I had the great luck of living with Lillian, our past president of Blarney, and just had the most amazing experience and met the most amazing people, and will forever remember Blarney and Cork and Ireland as one of my homes.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you very, very much. How fortunate we are to have you in our club. Thank you, Dana, ever so much. Let's go to Roman. Roman, what does Blarney mean to you now?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Blarney is honestly the biggest gift I received in Ireland when I came from Ukraine. Because in the beginning, English language was a big challenge for me, because I had never used this language in everyday life before. And Blarney Club, as a very friendly, supportive, and encouraging community, helped me indeed to improve my language and increase my speaking skills. So the biggest gift for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you ever so much. Played a great part in this club. We're very lucky to have you. It's terrific. Your speeches about Ukraine have educated all of us. Thank you so, so much. I'd now like to ask Geeta. Geeta, if you're still with us there, would you like to tell us what Blarney means to you?
Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone. Blarney means to me a meeting of minds and a meeting of hearts, and friendship and outstretched hands, and a supportive, encouraging environment, and a lot of warmth and love. That's what Blarney means to me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you very much. Let me ask Prince Aqua. What does Blarney mean to you? Oh, you have to unmute.
Thank you so much, Paul. What does Blarney mean to me? Well, Blarney means home. Blarney means family. I went to Ireland for the first time last year for the conference, and I had an amazing time. And I would love to come back, and not to go to Port this time, but to go to Blarney to see the famous stone, maybe give it a kiss, and hopefully it can inspire, my poetry, not for just this time, but then for the future as well. So Blarney means friends, it means family, it means a safe space and a safe home, and amongst smiles and people who make me feel incredible. So thank you, Paul.
Well, thank you. Now, I must tell you that Aqua came to a Blarney Toastmasters meeting, and without being given any briefing, I think, towards the end of the meeting, he read a poem that he'd written during the meeting. During the meeting, we're talking about, and it wasn't just the poem, it was the performance. So if you get a chance to hear a bit of fantastic experience, that's all I can say. Terrific. That is a serious talent. Well worth going to New York. Mark asking him to come to a club and perform. I think he'd go down rather well. Right. Let me now see if Brian Heaton. Brian, it's terrific to see you, Brian. And you're a great, great friend. If you would like, you can have a minute and a half to 30 seconds to introduce yourself, and 1 minute to speak on what does Blarney mean to you. Brian Heaton.
So many old friends here. So many old friends here. I've been away for some time due to health problems, but so many old friends. I watched a program about a small village in Germany recently. It's called The Centre of the World. And in many ways, Cork and the Blarney Club are the centre of the world. Just look at the people who are here from all over the world. Now, there are so many old friends here, but Paul would be disappointed if I did not do one thing. This is a wonderful wine from the Wine Society, the best rosé I've ever toasted. So here's to your next 50 years, Blarney.
Oh, Brian's referring to the fact that he is a serious taster of wine. He is a man who loves good wine, and he and I have had little conversations, but I'm not in his class, but it still mattered. Thank you very much, Brian. That's fabulous. I would like to ask Timothy Green, please. Timothy, what does Blarney mean to you?
You didn't say Blarney.
Timothy, you're coming and going.
Say. So is it I have?
No. Take a break for a minute, and I'll go to Jared Mannix, and I'll come back to you, Timothy. Jared Mannix, what does Blarney mean to you? Oh, you have to unmute too.
Yes, it didn't active. Good evening, everybody that's surviving at this hour. What does Blarney mean to me? It's an incredible, it might be a very short story. I hope I get it in within 59. I had a current girlfriend at one time, and I also had a Honda 50. So we rode out to Blarney Castle, and both of us participated in kissing the Blarney Stone. I don't know how many kisses we had afterwards, but that's left to history. That's my experience of Blarney.
Oh, Jared, that is lovely. That is lovely. I'll check with Timothy to see if he's able to go, and if he isn't, I'm going to go to Matty.
I've closed every other program on the computer, so hopefully Zoom is a bit more stable now. I had a wonderful day out in Blarney. I was meeting some.
All right,
my
Matty.
friends that I know through the Discworld fandom. Some of them are. Oh, you don't like me. Okay.
Okay, sorry, Tim. Something's gone wrong at your end. We'll do two more because we're going to finish officially the meeting, if you like, at 10 o'clock, our time in Ireland. After that, drinking, and plenty of it, is allowed. Right? The bar will be open. Anthony Garvey's just finishing his non-alcoholic tea, but alcohol is allowed after 10 o'clock. So let me go to you, Matty, and then I'll go to one more person who can put their hand up who would desperately like to have the last word. So, Matty, what does Blarney mean to you?
Paul, I've never been to Blarney or kissed the Blarney Stone. But when you became the division director, you came up to Gorey and you bought me a lovely lunch in the local hotel. And I can say this, if you are a representative of the people of Blarney, then I will hurry down to meet you and your neighbours, because you are a very good representative of all that is good. And I know that by the way you run the meetings and include people in them. Back to you, Paul.
Oh, thank you, Matty. I see one person alternate. Okay, we'll do two more, and that is really the cap. Alternate from Turkey. Melton, isn't it, Melton? Can you speak?
Yes, friendship
trust, and respect. Over to you, Paul.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, when you're reaching the end of a meeting, when somebody adjusts the length which they would love to speak, they're a hero for an MC or a Toastmaster. Now, let's bring Anthony Garvey in. Anthony, actually, I'm going to ask Lynn Gilbert first. I'd like to ask Lynn Gilbert if she can put down that drink that she's having and unmute herself, because I really want to know what Blarney means to Lynn Gilbert.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I was surprised actually that you asked me, but I am delighted because what Blarney really means to me now is Paul O'Malley. And I've been to Ireland. I had a fantastic experience there. And visiting, one of the things that I visited was the Book of Kells, which made a huge impact on my life. But what I find is being part of this group and listening to each of you, you're all very special. And what I realize is that you've been brought here, many of you, by Paul, who has made each of you feel very special. And what has happened to me, which relates to Blarney, is that he is the person that makes this word Blarney and the country as special as it is. And I'm very grateful to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm blushing. Anthony Garvey, you have the last word, because then I'm going to pass to our president, who will say a few words, and then the after party will begin. Anthony Garvey, please, what does Blarney mean to you?
So imagine you are the contest chair and the technology fails or the judges spend an extra 10 minutes outside the room. What you do by keeping the audience entertained in the meantime and keeping the show on the road is using a bit of Blarney. That's what Blarney is to me, but it's also a town, if you close your eyes and you imagine the quiet man, a town of about 3,000 people. There's woolen mills, there's Blarney Castle, there's a beautiful river that runs right the way through it, fantastic forests, and Blarney is also the second best online Toastmasters club this side of Alpha Centauri. Of course, the best one. It's not too far away. Congratulations, Blarney. What a great meet.
Now, there is a great example of somebody who's proud of their club. And
I was so close to muting you, Anthony.
Well,
full of Blarney.
I'd like to give Moira O'Brien, can you give a 30-second report, not on the times, but just to give people a chance to hear your voice again? Can we just hear that before Dennis takes over?
Thank you, Paul. It's a pleasure to speak again at this 50th anniversary celebration of Blarney Toastmasters. I have had the privilege of being a member of Blarney Toastmasters for 10 years. That's only 1/5 of the life of the club, but I feel as if I have been a member for 50 years because the club is so great. It's a pleasure being part of it, and I hope I will be a part of it, even though I'm hitting 80 this year, for another 20, 25, 30 years. Well.
Thank you, Moira. Thank you, Moira. Now let me invite our club president to say a few words. Please welcome Dennis Murphy, president of Toastmasters of Blarney Club.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Paul, as always, for being an absolutely wonderful host and running a fantastic show from the start to the finish of tonight's meeting. Thanks, of course, to Moira for her outstanding timekeeping duties. And I also want to thank everyone who attended tonight's meeting. It's absolutely fantastic to see people dropping in from all over the globe to our online meeting to celebrate with us here tonight in Blarney for our 50th birthday. So here's to another 50 years Tonight's meeting was absolutely wonderful to sit back and relax and enjoy all the feedback and what this fantastic club means to so many people. I myself, my own point of view, as I said earlier on, have been a member for the last 4 years of the Blarney Toastmasters Club. As many other people have said tonight, it's a fantastic club, wonderful people, some of all of our members and our many guests who join our meetings throughout the year, keep us very healthy and happily floating along. And we have a great time at our meetings. We obviously meet twice a month, and anyone that was in attendance tonight who would ever like to zoom in for a few of our meetings, you're always very most welcome. We'd be delighted to have you at any meeting. So I'm deeply grateful to have been part of tonight's meeting. I love being a member of Blarney Toastmasters Club myself. I'm deeply honoured this year to have the privilege of working as the club's president. So here's to another 50 years. I'll sign off by saying thank you to everybody for making tonight's meeting what it was, such a wonderful success and a very enjoyable evening. So we'll see you all hopefully very soon. And thank you once again. God bless. Thank you. I'll hand over to our wonderful Toastmaster once again, Paul O'Mahony, to get the after party going. And we're right on cue, Paul. It is exactly 10 o'clock. So well done to him. Thank you, Paul.
Well, now is a time for drinking, and I'm going to the kitchen to get myself a drink. So please talk among yourselves while I'm out and keep going. I just want to, my mouth is dried up. I need a drink. So I hope when I come back, you'll all be drinking.
Water. It's water.
What?
Welcome, Mike. True Irish.
In your drop to drink. Who said that?
I did.
Pleasure to be here, everyone. Thank you so very much. Thanks for all the feedback. I got some excellent feedback. And thank you, Elizabeth. Great to see you again. Always. Thank you. So a familiar face always. And good luck to all of our leaders. And especially, I see we have a club growth director. Wonderful. Hang in there. A lot of work ahead of you next 2.5 years, right? But thank you for your service. Thanks to all of our leaders for their service. God bless you all. And to another 50 years. To another 50 years for Blarney Toastmasters International.
You're here.
For all of us, who knows? Maybe we all get to live another 50 years at least.
Here.
God bless you all.
Yes.
That's my plan.
Blessings to you all. Have a good night. Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, all. Take care.
I am so grateful that we are online now, and for the Toastmasters. Actually, grateful for the pandemic, if you can believe that brought us all together. This would not have been possible before. So many people from so many corners of the globe, and this has been fantastic. I met people I would never known existed tonight if it hadn't been for Toastmasters and Zoom and technology that brought us here. Congratulations to Blarney Toastmasters again. It's a feat, amazing feat. I'm in a club in California in the United States that is an in-person club. They've been around for about 35 years. Their charter says they've been around 55 years, but apparently somehow or another they took over the charter from someone else. So the failed club. So they've been around for 35 or something years, and you've got them beat, and they're not a large thriving club like this. It's a small club. So you guys have got the secret sauce somehow.
Thanks, Andrew. We could always do with more members, though. We are a little bit light on numbers this year. we fell during the pandemic to very low numbers. I think we only had 10 or 11 members, and we've slowly been building up since then. But we need more members. We need more members to keep the club really flourishing. So if any of you hard I have to be careful what I say now. Those who are still with us after the last 2.5 hours, if you should think of joining a second club, Blarney Toastmasters will welcome you with open arms. And I know we may have 2 of tonight's attendees who may be joining us. We are certainly looking forward to that. Chuck, I think you made a mistake of announcing it publicly.
It was no mistake. No. Nope. Paul's got my application.
You are definitely most welcome, young man.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to share your incredible presentation with a couple of my proteges, a couple of division directors that I'm, mentoring right now, that I'm turning into mentors, and because it was just absolutely phenomenal about coach versus mentor. It was one of the best presentations, Laura, that I've ever heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm actually going to put that online when I can get round to.
That'd be great. I think Paul sent me a link to it, but it was phenomenal. I took notes. I took copious notes. I kept going. I said, I've got to go back and listen to this thing again, because I was concentrating on evaluating instead of pulling out the little nuggets of wisdom you shared. That was wonderful.
I'll send you the link, Chuck, when I upload
Super.
it. Oh,
Cheers, Martin. Cheers, everyone.
That's a real drink, Paul.
Oh, I need to go. Well,
it's real. Martin Farrell. Please look at Martin Farrell.
Uh-huh. Right.
Wow.
Can't give much more Irish than that.
So Martin is not Guinness.
Well, guys, I have to say, can you hear me?
Cheers. Congratulations, Paul.
Look, congratulations to all of you. You were the stars. I just brought you all together.
Phenomenal job today, Paul. Phenomenal job.
It was, I couldn't be more happy,
Labor of love.
It was a magnificent job, Paul.
I was hoping to interrupt the conversation.
David Clinton, where were you?
Are you
Please do.
Well, I just want to say something, guys. I wasn't sure if I was through to Barney Toastmasters or Blarney Toastmasters, because I was assured that topics would run until at least next week. So I therefore delayed my appearance tonight on the expectation that I might at least get one topic in before you progress through the night and into the next day and beyond. So I'm not really sure whether you're Blarney Toastmasters or not, because it's obviously the case that Paul ran out of steam, didn't have enough to say.
David.
But it's a pleasure and an honor to be here on such an auspicious occasion, even though you probably can't see me as I'm driving. I think the topic was something to do with Blarney. But being an introvert, I just like to say I've never kissed the Blarney Stone, and only for Anthony Garvey, just revealing that they even sell jumpers in Blarney. Well, that's a jumper I don't have yet, so maybe it's something I better look into in order to honour the occasion at some point in the future. So I'm sure you had a wonderful night by all the accolades I heard. And it's a pity I missed all of it, but I did hear the final stages.
David,
Martin.
David, the next time you're at a Toastmasters meeting and the Topics Master announces, now, we're only going to have one speaker, there's no add-ons. I will think of the night I was at the Toastmasters meeting for Blarney, and there was 70 people on the screen, and everyone got the same topic.
Oh, that's just...
There's add-ons for you, and it was absolutely splendid now. I couldn't understand at the start of the meeting how this was going to work, and it did work, Paul. Well done.
Yeah. And I don't know, has the after party started there?
I'm on the Guinness.
I was expecting music or something like that on a ukulele to be playing, and Maura to be giving some of her lilting tunes or tones.
Well, David, unfortunately, I'm recovering from a very bad chest infection, so my voice is
as am I.
permission.
Yeah, that's a pity. That's a pity.
Tamara.
But, maybe next time.
Yeah, Tamara and Chuck and Brian have never heard this story. It's possible that Paul Greenway hasn't heard it either. Where did I meet David Clinton? That's where it all began, really.
Sheffield.
It was once upon a time I qualified for the district final table topics. I want to thank, by the way, our division director, I think it was at the time, who did a little raffle at the contest, and I got €100. It's horrifically expensive to go across to compete, and anyway, never mind all that. I'm not complaining, but I am. But never mind, that won't change things. But here's the key thing, that I go over there and I can barely remember what the topic was. And David Clinton and I were up against each other. So I thought, well, look, he looks like he's never won a speech contest before. So I decided, look, I'll go 1 second over time. And that's what I did. I went 1 second over time. No joking. And David Clinton, I was the first speaker.
There's an equal number of Jameses as women in Cabinet. So
no James is on front. She's in front bench that I can see.
No, I don't know.
Right, Zoom bombed. Anyway, so what happened is David Clinton goes fourth, and he goes up on the stage. He gives a speech, and then he does something that a lot of people were surprised at. He grabs from the back of the stage the Irish flag, because it's a district across Ireland and UK. There was a UK flag and an Irish flag. He grabs the flag. This is in the middle of his table at the tabletop.
With the Constitution, obviously we have forces.
Will you tell Mary not to speak? Anyway, the David Clinton jumps off the stage with the Irish flag in his hand. No, it wasn't his property. I don't know if it says in the rule book that if you steal. Anyway, he jumped off the stage. He was phenomenal. He sat down beside me and I said, well, you've won. So that's where I met David Clinton. And it's all been up a mountain since then, really, you know.
All downhill from there.
Not sure, really. But anyway.
There you go.
There we are.
I tell you, those were the days, heady days.
Yeah. David, I want to publicly take back the accusation I have made in public before. I don't think you cheated.
You see, that's the saying.
Yeah, David has lost his voice.
Actually, I saw Carl Walsh there for a second.
Oh, what are you drinking? It looks delicious.
Aha.
Tell us about irishtalkers.com.
irishtalkers.com is a podcast which is now in its 11th year. It was started by Toastmaster Ted Malamphy in the end of 2014, November 2014. And it's been continued by various Toastmasters, including Paul and myself.
Okay.
Then it's published every week.
Okay.
We interview a Toastmaster 1 week, and we have a magazine show the second week, and we do this 52.
Gotta check that out.
Yeah.
How
And
much
we're
fun?
looking for people to interview. So anybody online who has not yet had the privilege of being interviewed by Paul, make yourself known. There are 1 or 2 people here who I know have been through the grinder. Brian Heaton, Nick Lacani, Martin Farrell, and no doubt a few others, David Clinton, Paul Greenway, I'm not sure.
How much fun! I want to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Chuck.
Oh, sign him up.
Chuck, tomorrow we'll do an interview.
What is tomorrow? Wednesday?
Yep.
What time?
At whatever time suits you, because you don't get up till ages after I've got up. So,
I don't know about that.
hey, we'll fix it via WhatsApp. And you know what? If tomorrow doesn't work, the day after will work. No problem at all. But
I'm free. No, I mean, I have a clear schedule.
Just to tell you, Moira's been very modest. The podcast was indeed Ted Malanfi's idea, but it was to Moira O'Brien that he took the idea, and Moira O'Brien was at that stage the owner or co-owner of an internet radio station called Irish Radio International. And he was looking for additional, because there were other stations on there. Moira was looking for an additional one. Ted pitched. Moira said, yeah, why not? Moira was briefly, I think, talent on the show. I think very briefly, because he brought in a president, somebody who became president of Blarney. And anyway, so Moira has been, well, first of all, she's been the rock on which the whole thing has run. She's also the sound engineer, the producer, and she cracks a very, very stiff whip. She's edited out just loads of my pauses, and I keep wondering, when can I have my pauses back? Anyway, they're So yes, it's hundreds of episodes. I don't know. There must be 1,000 episodes. Imagine.
Really?
I think about 150.
Anyway,
450 episodes, 200,000 downloads since 2018.
Really? How much fun?
It's listened to by half of World Headquarters. I can tell you that. You know, they hang on every word. They think up their future policy positions based on, because we have we have total editorial independence. We get a stipend for which we're very grateful from District 71. But
Is that a bunch of Blarney?
We're not under Blarney's editorial. We are independent, so we can. Hey, Brent. Oh yeah. Hi. Good.
885 episodes per this.
How many?
885.
Really?
Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
Possibly, I think some of them got full shows, and then you output smaller, cut down versions as well. Possibly.
We used to publish 4 episodes a week. God knows how we did that, but we did 4 episodes a week for quite a few years.
And then we got longer episodes. So
Yeah.
we decided we'd put out one a week.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan hasn't yet been invited on the show. Just to let you know, we've very high standards. If
Well,
you
don't forget, Joe Rogan will actually get you to go to Houston or Austin, wherever he is.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, there are a number of podcasts, and oh god, this is like talking about work. But the podcast project in Pathways is way up there in terms of how good it is. It really is one of the very, very best. Very well put together. The educational material is fabulous. And Paul Greenaway, what are you drinking? Greenway, not Paul Green. What you drinking, Paul?
I am drinking the lovely Guinness Zero.
Ah,
joys of it being a school night.
Paul O'Mahony, can I ask you a question, please?
But of course, Matty.
Thank you. I would like, before I go to Blarney, I would like to know if the Blarney Stone referred to as male or female. because I only kiss females.
Well,
Matty, that's brilliant. That is utterly brilliant.
That's a
That
hard
is
question.
brilliant, Matty.
That's a hard question.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys
Between
and
a rock and
squirrels,
a
I
hard
need to
place
leave.
there.
Andrew,
Well,
thank you so much for coming. Is your surname Grainer?
Yes, it is.
Great. Okay.
You pronounced it correctly.
That's what I was checking in on, you know.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, and a masterful job. I wish more people could have seen this, Paul, because you were just flawless the whole time. And certainly, I'm going to take away a lot of it for Toastmaster when I'm Toastmaster in my clubs, because that's not the easiest job in the world, a role, because you have to keep talking and talking and talking. And it was fantastic. Thanks, everyone, and for having me, and thanks for and congratulations on the 50 years.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I got to go as well, everybody. Great to see you. I'm glad I managed to stay most of it. So, congratulations again. See you soon.
Great,
Thanks.
Nick. Thank you very, very much. Brent, are you going? Give us a few words, please.
Just want to say happy anniversary to the Blarney Toastmasters. I was given this link by Maria Orlovic of the English club that I'm in, Tyne Online, and I've just finished up my physiotherapy, and I figured I'd drop in on this meeting and see what y'all were up to. So,
Brent, because you've come and in effect you've spoken, you do have the right to have sent to you the recording.
Awesome.
Now that's something we decided we wouldn't tell anyone until we'd leak out the news. No, I'm joking. We forgot to say that, but everybody who was here tonight is very welcome to the recording. Now we're charging 30 euros for each copy because, you know, we need to contribute to the Ralph C. Smedley Fund. No, joking apart, free copies of the recording.
Thank you.
I noticed the recording is to your computer, Paul, not to the cloud. So just remember that.
Okay, we can talk technical stuff in the background, Moira.
Sure.
Main thing is we have something recorded, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think Matty's question should be the tagline for tonight's episode.
It's brilliant. That is. Matty, you can do stand up in Blarney with that.
You do know now that yesterday Donald Trump announced that there are only two genders, male and female. So I just need to know which of them it is.
Yeah.
I thought there were only two genders. There was Donald Trump and everybody else.
Probably right.
That sounds more like it.
Yes.
You know, in Toastmasters, you can talk about sex, politics, and religion.
Yep.
With one proviso, that you introduce the subject sensitively, so that people who don't want to hear about either sex, and hands up, who doesn't want to hear about sex, politics, and religion sometimes?
Sometimes, okay, yeah. There are times I'm not in the mood.
I am.
And it's time for that.
You know this club called Shilling Speakers? Oh, look, we have it seems to advertise itself everywhere in the world. Shilling Speakers. Anyway, they had a meeting in which all the speakers, I don't know if you heard this earlier, but all the speeches were sex, politics, or religion. And you even mix sex, politics, and religion in any way you like. I did a speech about sex, I remember. But, you know, the red light went on just as I was about to tell people what I did in the red light district in Amsterdam.
Ira O'Brien must have been on the timer. Listen, Paul, I want to tell Chuck, I'm going to leave you and love you, but Chuck, Paul was talking about the mountain there. And Chuck, I don't know, did you ever hear about the man that lived at the bottom of the mountain? And he used to watch the sun every evening going down over the mountain. And he wondered, I wonder where did the sun go? It was just bothering him to know where did the sun go when it went down over the mountain. So there was this day, he got himself a bag, a backpack, got some flask of tea and sandwiches and put on some warm clothes. And he said he was going to go up to the top of the mountain and watch it. And for there on ever, he'd know where the sun went. So he got himself ready, came the evening, up he went to the top of the mountain, and he watched and he watched and he waited and he watched and he watched and he watched. And suddenly it dawned on him.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
so I told that when I was.
Sorry about that, folks.
Hey, let me a brief story about Martin Farrell.
That was good. I like that. I go tell my wife that one.
A real quick one about Martin Farrell. Toastmasters for Golf held its first, I'll call it, public meeting. And we had designed an agenda. I don't know who designed the agenda, probably a committee. But anyway, there was somebody put in to be the joker. And who stood up and did the joker but Martin Farrell. Now, I've been to a lot of Toastmasters clubs which have what do they call, a joke master. And to be honest, I found about 92% of them embarrassingly poor. Now, that's just me. Martin Farrell did about 5 jokes. They were not short slapdick things. They were stories. And I just sat here in my office going, oh my God, this guy's fantastic. And it's true, Martin. That had a huge impact on me. I must tell you, Martin's just finished his stint as president of a golf club. And that's a serious role. Certainly the way Martin did it. Martin, if you leave, I'll talk about you behind your back. But anyway, the key thing is that Martin Farrell is absolutely fabulous. Now, he doesn't get a chance in Toastmasters for Golf anymore because they're all too serious about golf. And
Paul, seeing that this is Irish, English, Ireland and England, and I'm going to give you one for the road. Paddy is sometimes taken as the fool, Chuck. You know, and certainly the Paddy in London would be taken as the fool, Paddy being the Irishman. And Paddy was outside the pub in London with a stick and a piece of twine. And the bottom of the twine, there was something hanging in a puddle of water outside the pub. It was absolutely teeming rain now. It was teeming rain. He was drowned wet, and the twine was dangling in the pool of water just outside the pub. And the Englishman came along and he says, oh, Paddy, he says, what are you doing? He says, I'm fishing. And he says, and tell me, he says, it is horrendous. He says, will you come into the pub? He says, and I'll buy you a whiskey. He says, you can't be out here, he says, in that rain. So into the pub anyhow, and he bought him the whiskey. And he said, will you tell me how, Paddy? He says, how many have you caught today? He says, you're the 5th. So now I leave you on that, and lovely to see you, Chuck. Lovely to see the rest of you. Paul, Myra, absolutely brilliant night, and Matty, well done, great meeting, loved it. Thanks for the invite, Paul. Good night.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Timothy's put it in there. Paddy the Irishman, Paddy the Englishman, and Paddy the Scotsman, and that's the classic one. I grew up on those jokes.
Of course, in Ireland, if you want to tell jokes about fools, it's about Kerry men, isn't it?
Oh, yes. But if you know how countries...
Anyone from Kerry here?
a scapegoat. You know, you have the, don't ask me who the scapegoat for the Lithuanians are, but it's probably the Latvians, and it's probably the Latvians for the Lithuanians. But Kerry is definitely Kerry jokes. There's a whole load of Kerry jokes from everywhere in Ireland. There's even a politician, a family of politicians who have got an accent which guarantees that they'll get on every radio and TV show because it's so distinctive. Timothy, help me out. Who are they? They're the
Healy Rays.
The Healy Rays. Now,
yeah,
you might think Healy double barrel is a fancy English Anglo-Saxon name. No, it's the Healy Rays from Kerry, and I joke you not. Their accent is a bit. You know how great Matty's accent is. You're meant to put your hands up and say yes. Matty's accent is special. He's like
the Wexford accent.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Matty is the main hook with which we attract people to Blarney. There's a chance of hearing Matty. But the Healy Rays are also way up there, aren't they, Matty?
Oh, they are indeed, yes, absolutely. Yes, they have a great accent, all right, they have. You'd know they're up in Kerry.
Brent has it there. I'm sure if you follow Brent's link in the chat, you'll find your way. There'll be loads of them on YouTube, and there'll also be loads of people who are, what's the word, mimicking them. Chuck, you're going to get an induction into Ireland, the like of which is going to make Mark Laverne embarrassed, because he mangled every single pronunciation this evening, from De Valera to Bono. I couldn't. I mean, didn't he, Timothy? You were there all the meeting. He mangled.
Was it that bad?
Every single one. It was just almost unbelievable.
He called him Dave.
Pardon?
You can just call him Dave instead of De Valera.
But he got every pronunciation. I mean, everybody. I wondered if he would have used the word y'all. I would have loved to hear him pronounce the word. Chuck, y'all is spelt Y-O-U-G-H-A-L.
No, it's Y-A apostrophe L, y'all.
Y-O-U-G-H-A-L. Often pronounced Yugal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that pronunciation, except it is wrong.
Now, my computer is set up to tell me a random joke every time I open a terminal, and I just did. And since we were talking about stereotypical jokes, I'll show it to you.
Well, here in Texas, it's Y-A apostrophe L-L, y'all. Y'all.
Y'all came to Blarney this evening.
Why don't Scotsmen ever have coffee the way they like it? They like it with 2 lumps of sugar. If they drink it at home, they only take 1. And if they drink it while visiting, they always take 3. Yeah. My computer gives me random jokes, so that one seemed appropriate to share.
Well, I only know one Irish joke, and forgive me, Moira, for repeating it. You know, Paddy goes looking for a job in London on a building site. He's just over from the bog. So he comes up and he lands up and he goes to the building site in the city, and he's looking for a job, and he meets the charge hand. And the charge hand is Cockney, and he says, "Right, mate, you want a job here? Right, you got to know the difference between a joist and a girder." Did you get that? The difference between a joist and a girder. Oh, Paddy says nothing. moves his head up and down, looks at his shoes. Right, mate, come on, hurry up. Or you can feck off. He didn't say feck off, mind you. Anyway, right, man. Paddy, what's the difference between Joyce and a girder? And, right, your man says, you can bugger. And then Paddy takes his head up and he says, Joyce wrote Ulysses and Goethe wrote Faust. Brian Heaton, you like that?
Yeah, wonderful. I think Paddy. I lived in London in Kilburn, a great Irish area, and Paddy always used to be regarded in the way one person said this evening. But now Ireland is a powerhouse. It's a wealthy country in the European Union, and who's laughing now?
You know how in Ireland, everyone wants to know where you're from. And the reason they want to know where you're from is they want to see if they know any of your people from there. So, where are you from? And then they can figure out if they can trust you. So that's key thing, where are you from? And it's all about, yeah. And English people, on the other hand, what they want to know is, where did you go to school? And Brian is, confirming that I'm right. And of course, the Irish want to know who your family is, because that'll tell them what stock you come from. The English want to know what class you're from. And of course, if you went to this school or that school, that will reveal something about you. And they're the big cultural difference between Ireland and Britain. Isn't that right, Brian?
That's true, Paul.
You are correct, sir. Yes.
Another angle on what you say, and my mother came from County Down. We lived there. I went to grammar school in Belfast. We lived in County Down and County Antrim. And people who had moved to another place, even after 30 years living there, they were known as a blow-in. You just blowed in with the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, yeah, a blow-in. That's...
Paul, just going back to Kerry for a moment, can I tell you about the Kerry man who was earning his shirt and the phone went, and by mistake he lifted up the urn to his ear. He burnt his ear, so he went to the doctor. The doctor asked him what happened, and the Kerry man told him what happened. Then the doctor said, what happened to your other ear? And the Kerry man said, the fecker rang me again.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, I'll tell you a true story about Kerry. My wife and I went to, I think it was Killarney, but it mightn't have been Killarney. It was someplace, it doesn't matter, in Kerry anyway. So we go in and we get something from this shop. And it was mainly an ice cream for our daughter, who was about 3, I think at the time, or maybe 4, but basically she got a cone. And we're sitting there outside this place, and out comes this elderly man. Not as elderly as myself, but, elderly, we'll say. Anyway, the man sits down and starts speaking Kerry. How are you doing there now? How's it doing? Yeah, nice to see you. I can't do it, right? But we sat there for... Our daughter was in a high chair. And this guy starts talking to our daughter. neither my wife nor I could understand a single word, but my daughter was, at the age of 3, was able to, totally engage with him and talk to him and blah, 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 blah. It was astonishing. Yeah. There's even a photograph, Brian. I have a photograph of the man, but neither of us could understand a single word. He was down from the mountains as far as we were concerned. And but my daughter could. And she wasn't born in Kerry. She was born in Bath. Sorry, I don't mean in the Bath. She was born in Bath.
Just a few miles from where I live in Bristol. I just listening to a program today by classical music by a woman. She's Dr. Sian Williams, who is Welsh, and she was every day she goes out and there's a visit. And today she visited a children's playground, and she described young children on their break, and they are totally without constraint. This girl climbed up high on this thing, dangerous, 3 boys on the swing. And, I often see children. I love watching children. I was the eldest brother. And you see children, they're just more or less devoid of constraint. And gradually, we narrow down and conform. But watching children, I just love it. So few constraints. So what you say, it doesn't surprise me, Paul. Wow, yeah, wonderful.
I'm so pleased. You mentioned it earlier, Brian. Your voice isn't as great as it used to be. But Brian is a guy I met in Toastmasters, and we share a mutual interest in language. Huge interest in language. Forget the wine for a minute. Huge interest in language, precision of language. And I don't know how many, we probably were at several meetings where privately in the chat, we said things about the language that people were using. And, but from time to time, you come across somebody who shares a big interest of yours, quirky interest. And I just want to say, I've missed that, Brian. I just loved your company. And why I didn't meet you while I was living in Bath up until 2005, I don't know, but I wish I had.
Whereas my fascination with language is more on the linguistics end rather than the pedantry end.
Thanks there, Timothy. Pedantry is hardly a neutral word, but carry on.
It was the best I could think of at the time. I collect linguistics textbooks.
Aha! So Levi Strauss is up your alleyway, is he?
What's Brian showing there? Your background is not letting me see.
Levi Strauss.
Strauss, I have not read. Guy Deutsch, Through the Language Glass, one of the best books I've ever read.
No. I'm just showing off something I've forgotten. Donkeys years ago, I did something about language and linguistic theories, and God knows who the people were. I imagine Brian Heaton has a better memory than me, but whoever they were, I can't remember. And I'm pretty sure that the French philosopher Levi Strauss was way up there in the area of.
Yeah, it's certainly a name that's familiar. It's a bit like Chomsky. You read about Chomsky.
Oh, I meant,
you don't read Chomsky.
Yeah, Chomsky. We're all doing all that. Paul Greenway, how are you down there in the south coast of
Blarney, York,
right near the sea?
I am doing all right, Mr. Romani. As you're aware, I'm getting myself resettled. So making sure that I remain sociable. So with your invite tonight, I said, right, get your finger out, mate, and get back to the desk and say hello.
Yes, Brent. But I was thrilled, Paul, because I was hoping that we wouldn't not connect up again. I'm coming down to have a lunch with you someday.
Okay, you're welcome.
If you'd have me for lunch, or if
Absolutely.
we fix it, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. That would be great. Guys, I'm inclined to say let's stop. But I'm quite happy to go to my kitchen, pass somebody else the thingy-bob, the host of it.
Well, Paul, I'm going to move on, and I'll see you at the next Toastmasters meeting. And thank you for the invite, and happy anniversary. Good night, everybody. See you again.
Thank you, Matty. Thanks a million. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Happy anniversary, everybody. See you all around.
Brent, we must connect again.
Sure.
I have to make sure I can save this chat, because you might have put your. Did you put an email address in the chat?
Yes, sir, I did. Yeah.
That's all I need. That's all I need, because I'll
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you,
It's been a good
Brian.
evening.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks again, and happy anniversary.
Jaya, are you still? God, what time is it in Dubai or Qatar? Anyway, I'll say good night, guys. Talk to you all soon.
Folks, good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Good night, Paul. Good night, everyone.